the Church of Scientology is so afraid of.
This is SPTV.
Hello, you guys, and welcome back to SPTV, where every literal single day of the week, you guys, we ask ourselves the same damn question. What in the literal hell is Scientology so afraid of, you guys? What could it be? What could it possibly be? Well, we do know that they are definitely afraid of a German documentary that was done on them a while back, you guys. A very, very long time ago, actually, is when this documentary was made. And Scientology was very, very pressed at the time to, really crisis manage the situation. So welcome back to another episode of our corporate media audits, where we're going to be auditing the corporate media, anyone who's been profiting off of the pain of kids stuck in the hotels, anyone that missed the withhold of all of the Scientology executives, everyone who missed the withhold of all of the Scientology parents. And what is that withhold, you guys? You might be asking yourselves, what in the literal hell is the withhold of all of these parents and Scientology executives? Their withhold, you guys, is very, very similar to the thing that they don't want to talk about ever in relationship to them being part of these hotels, which is the unfeathered exposure and horrific exploitation, systemic, of kids that didn't have the capacity to consent, of kids that had no shred of a literal clue what in the hell L. Ron Hubbard was pitching to all of these adults. And although all the adults told us, you're just an adult, you're just like all of us, come to find out, you guys, that was a false AF pitch. Come to find out, you guys, that, their little daddy figure, L. Ron Hubbard, did pitch to them to treat all kids like adults. So if you are an adult who bought that pitch, go double check what in the hell you just did. Because that pitch is alive and well, you guys. It's alive and well today. And we have Kay in the house. Hello, Kay. Michael Kay. Amanda. Hello, Amanda. Kenya. Gypsy. Shambot. All of you guys. Thank you for joining us today. The continuation of our exploration reacting to the depths of what was covered and omitted by this German documentary, exposing the stories of missing grown adult individuals who consented to be trapped within the Scientology's Rehabilitation Project force. Now, some of those adults, you guys will say, well, I never consented. I didn't want to be there. Well, you did consent to be part of Scientology. So just keep that in mind. So if you want to go get some advocacy for yourself and you were an adult involved in these hotels, go get a criminal attorney and see, what type of a retainer you need to be paying for people to really sit there and defend you as an adult. Because that's what all adults are being invited to do. Go look in the yellow pages and go to the letter C, criminal attorney. Go to that letter and then just start looking up some numbers and start making some phone calls and really start coming clean to those, advocates that you can get for yourself, because adults can get advocates, you guys. They can absolutely do that. They have to pay for them. Adults that involve themselves with L. Ron Hubbard have to now go and pay attorneys that can really take their adult lives apart and really see what in the hell was going on. Brace yourselves as we embark on a relentless pursuit of truth, determined to unravel the dark AF enigma shrouding the fates of all kids who got ensnared in this clandestine web of exploitation and state-sanctioned torture of minors so that the Scientology executives could play out their self-entitled power trips that they were all about inside of the disgusting hotels. As we delve further into the abyss of this unsettling, highly illegal sham 501c, our commitment only intensifies as we really do sit here and question why and how Scientology got propped up by its three co-founders, the three amigos, Misvavige, Rathbun and Rinder, all high school dropouts who were aided and abetted by none other than -0 shred of due diligence, attorney at law, Monique Yingling, and the rest of her buddies. The three amigos did take it upon themselves to hire for themselves the best of the best attorneys money could buy, so they could continue the scam in support of their fanatical obsession with their little daddy figure, L. Ron Hubbard, the pathetic indicted felon that died inside a trailer high out of his mind. We refuse to let the gravity of this issue be diluted or dismissed. The stories of the missing kids stuck inside these atrocious, highly illegal, false imprisonment camps demand our attention, and we stand united in unwavering quest for answers, refusing to succumb to the shadows cast by the executives that want to pretend that they can remember whatever in the hell they find convenient to say or remember. In the aftermath of it all, our collective voice becomes a resounding call echoing through the corridors of uncertainty, demanding accountability and transparency. For those in the back, accountability and transparency is all that's being demanded of you. So don't play victim, because we don't give a shred of an F how much of a victim you play. We only give a shred of an F about actual accountability and transparency. Self-serving narratives do not count. Join us as we navigate through this twists and turns of this complex narrative, peeling back layers to expose the truth that has been concealed. The individuals who got stuck inside the RPF as underage children deserve more than literally nothing but excuses about how our child traffickers had it rough themselves. Isn't that great, you guys? That not only were we exposed to be exploited, tortured, not only were our entire formative years stolen, then the people that did this to us go, oh, you really should have considered how rough we had it. Well, you know what? Y'all had consent. Consent, a luxury that no shred of child has for themselves inside the hotels. So quit playing dumb, quit pretending that you're just a child in an adult body this whole time, because that is a false pitch. You were adults in adult bodies pretending kids were adults. So start making sense of that receipt that makes no shred of sense in this year 2024. Mike Rinder, Marty Rathbun, and David Misvavige, and Debbie Cook, and Angie Trent, and Angie Blankenship, and Pilar Saldarriaga, and Jana Fair, and Christine Owens, that's dead now. Plenty of them, guys. Plenty of them it took. As if we don't have 200 people showing up in Epstein's case that's being now revealed. These people needed enablers. These people needed co-conspirators. These people needed people that were going to be okay with everything. They wanted their everything goes environment inside of those hotels. And that they got, you guys. They did get that. Thanks to -0 due diligence attorney Monique Yingling. So why? Together we forge ahead, resolute and unyielding in our mission to understand what is truly transpiring within these abominable walls of a place self-infantilized so-called executives decided to send kids, underage kids. Why? Why in the literal hell was that allowed, Debbie Cook? Why in the literal hell was that allowed, Marty Rathbun? Why in the literal hell was that allowed, Mike Rinder, Angie Blankenship, Tom DeVocht, Angie Trent, and all of y'all? MFY. Answer that. That was not a request. It's an order. Y'all owe answers that make a shred of sense. So start answering and take responsibility instead of playing yourselves as pathetic victims of a scheme y'all were willing co-conspirators of. Time for y'all to run and get a mirror to see if you're capable of a shred of self-reflection. But either way, y'all decided to really fuck around. So now it's time for y'all to actually find out. And that's how we're going to find out with this little gem that has been literally in the public record, you guys, for decades. It's been in the public record, you guys, while I was a child abducted in this disgusting scheme, sent there by Debbie Cook, sent there by Angie Trent, to be twinned by a self-admitted, disgusting, you know what in the hell I mean, sent there by Marty Rathbun. So all of them could not be more implicated in owing answers that make a shred of sense. Owing those answers to us. I wasn't the only child stuck inside those buildings, you guys. I'm the only child that's been able to survive, live to tell, and actually speak on that issue and actually go to these MFers and actually have them called by name with specific pointed questions what in the hell we need answered. Because we're not going to hear to be your goo goo gaga, oh, you had no idea. They all had an idea of what in the hell they were doing, you guys. They just played dumb real well. So beware how well these people play dumb, because they've had decades of playing dumb. They've had decades of purporting to really wanting to come clean, to really want to help the world, you guys. We were helping the world in Scientology, and then we got out, and we were just helping ourselves. I mean, oops, the world. So really, it's time to get your ethics in, Debbie Cook. It's time to get your ethics in, Mike Rinder. It's time to get your ethics in, Marty MF Rathbun. It's literally the year you're going to get your ethics in. It's literally the year you're not going to go escape and really go to the Tampa Bay Times and really go, oh my God, you guys have a great story that we can really just launder our image real quick so we can get some real good paycheck programs going for ourselves. Because, you know, David took the 501c that we were all a part of and we were all having so much fun. So it's not fair that David gets to take it all for himself now. So if I'm going to get kicked out of the hotel where I was having a ton of fun until he interrupted my fun, then pay me. That's what Marty Rathbun said. That's what Debbie Cook said. And yeah, Mike Rinder didn't get that Lucky, you guys. He didn't get a payment from Scientology, but he's managing to get all types of payments from the corporate press that has been paying him for his, highly, literally. He's really, really the expert, you guys. Oh, yeah, just come to me, the founder of OSA. I'm really going to tell you what in the hell we were doing in there. As if you're still not pitching sanitized AF narratives, Mike Rinder. When are you going to get tired of literally sanitizing the most disgusting, abominable thing? Because so far, as the publicist of L. Ron Hubbard, with so much knowledge you had on that man yourself, with what kind of straight face can you sit here and tell us, oh, you guys, I had no shred of a clue? If you were the publicist of L. Ron Hubbard, then you had a ton of clue. You had a ton of exposure. You had a ton of a front row seat in that dysfunction. And as you climbed up the little ladder to really help yourself to be the founder of OSA, you're nowhere to be found on the public record with anything other than your paperclip pathetic withholds, Mike Rinder. They couldn't be more pathetic. They couldn't be more self-serving. They couldn't be more misdirecting the investigation, you guys. That's what they call it in Scientology when people don't want to come clean. They misdirect. They go, oh, yeah, but look over there. Oh, yeah, but look over here. But in Scientology, you're not allowed to go and get off other people's withholds, you guys. But as soon as Mike Rinder and Marty Rathbun walked out of that threshold, guess all they wanted to do was talk about that one was doing this, those people were doing that, everybody was doing something so far removed from them. Isn't that great? Isn't that so great, you guys? So this documentary really puts Mike Rinder at the center of this when he was the head of OSA, when he was protecting the disgusting things going on in those hotels. When he would have known, now we have them on the exact same year that I was locked up in Debbie Cook's hotel, you guys. Mike Rinder was, frolicking around there. So as much as he said, oh, I was so outward facing, you guys, I never saw anything. That is yet another one of these pathetic, false narratives being spun by spin master of spin, Mike Rinder. You would have to be a spin master if you were able to legitimize and to prop up a disgusting indicted felon that died inside a trailer high out of his mind, Mike Rinder. If you really wanted to pitch L. Ron Hubbard after you knew that, then you got a lot of explaining to do. Then you got a lot of receipts to start showing for yourself, since you have yet, as of this year 2024, show no remorse for anything you've done. So skip us about the pitch about how the kids you left behind the hotel are fair gaming you now, and aren't you such a victim, and we should all come and cradle and canoodle you. Not great, you guys, that these executives, the ones that literally signed up their kids to be left behind, that literally said, oh yeah, great idea for you to be a minor and be doing everything I love to do as an adult. So no, none of us kids wanted to do what in the literal hell all of you adults love to do. Your little L. Ron Hubbard game was not suitable for MF children. And if you couldn't tell that, then you really need to go look inside your head and really find out, why didn't I consider this? Why did I consider this suitable for children? Why did I expose my own kids to this without a shred of critical thinking skills for myself? Because I was so pressed to have L. Ron Hubbard and his goons really, think I'm great. That's all these Scientology parents and executives were after, you guys. Approval from each other. So y'all couldn't be in the same bucket swimming in kids' blood that you're never going to find any soap or bubbles anywhere around. Trust to wash yourselves off. And if you want an example of how there's no soaps or bubbles to wash yourselves off in your disgusting reputation, go ask Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein how that worked out for them, since they were just such small timers compared to what in the hell y'all have done. Even with all the power, even with all the influencers, even with all the actors really parading around in their islands and hotels and mansions worldwide. Let's go to Paris. Let's go to New Mexico, you guys. Let's go to an island. Well, where in the hell do you think the Scientology people go? Oh, yeah, let's go to London. Oh, yeah, let's go to South Africa. Oh, yeah, let's go to Australia. We're so worldwide. Everyone accepts us. We couldn't be more legal. We couldn't be more legal is what these pathetic people think. Really relying on Monique Yingling and her law license and all the affidavits that her, Marty Rathbun, Mike Rinder, and David Miscavige wrote down on a little piece of paper to purport that their little daddy figure was a very humanitarian man that really wanted to do a lot of great things for the world and don't charge us any taxes because aren't we such do-gooders? You're only good for grifting. So get that through your thick skull. You, the pathetic three amigos that you were only good to prop up hotels so y'all could grift. And it couldn't be more self-evident, but apparently it's evident to everyone else except for y'all. Apparently, y'all and your fanatical, disgusting, consenting adults that really love it inside of those hotels, you guys, because that's one of the wonderful things we're going to see in this documentary. A woman that can't stop pitching how wonderful it was for her inside of the hotels. And if you guys are looking at all the TikTok stuff and all the things that are being actually now recorded, so we have more receipts, you know, in the video that Growing Up in Scientology did yesterday, where a woman is just like talking about how great it is for her inside a hotel. She loves it. She's great. She's wonderful. It's so amazing. They play music for her. All manner of things that they're very, very happy to be doing inside of those hotels. But all of them decide to run every red flag about all the minors implicated in their little adult-only game, because they all like him young inside of those hotels. They couldn't be more predatory and they couldn't be more disgusting. So start dealing with the facts. All of you Scientology parents and executives, start dealing with them and miss us with telling us that it's now up to us to figure out how to dismantle what in the F y'all created for your damn selves. If you were so ingenious to prop up something so scam and sham, I'm sure you have it in you to be so ingenious to dismantle it, since you would know firsthand what in the hell is needed for this to be dismantled. They all run around you guys and it's like, well, we really did try our best, you guys, but you know, things are very complicated. BS, Mike Rinder. BS, Marty Rathbun. BS, David Miscavige. Y'all were collecting the stuff. Y'all pretended because you video recorded it and you transcribed it as it was happening. All of a sudden, it's a very religious situation that no one can have a shreddical thought of critical thinking skills for themselves to see that you're practicing law without a license, laundering felonies, allowing people to pay so-called auditors that complete a 2-week course inside a hotel, including but not limited to ones that were exposed to minors, such as myself, being given diplomas so they can charge $500 an hour to launder felonies. So since that's not making a shred of sense, and since that's still happening today as we MF speak, that's why we're having this conversation. So don't play dumb and don't be like, well, you know, you're holding on to something that was so long ago. As if Scientology can reform. Don't sell us that MF pitch, you idiots. The whole contract with L. Ron Hubbard was become my slave, become my willing slave, never criticize me, never cross me, never say anything that I did was ever wrong. So all of y'all can go and check for your damn selves how that's really aging for all of y'all, because you know what? It's the year 2024 and we're looking at these receipts and they couldn't be more incongruent AF. So we're talking about receipts. We're talking about the facts that you all decided to ignore, the facts that all of you decided to twist and turn and spin and spun, because that's what in the hell we have on the public record, you guys. A bunch of spin, a bunch of corrupt AF media outlets that all they've done is, how's Tom Cruise doing, you guys? Let me come up with another headline about Tom Cruise, because we really all want to know. Tom Cruise, John Travolta, Christy Alley. And all the pathetic media that laundered the image of these disgusting people are the same ones that then pretend they'll have a conscience in 5 years when the criminal investigation is finally hitting the hotels. Oh yeah, you guys, it was really bad in there. So remember who the enablers are, you guys. Tampa Bay Times, prime example of enablers. Prime example of complete and utter incompetence in journalism, in investigating a shred of anything, since they've been next to the hotel for decades. And imagine that, you guys. They're so stupid they cannot even investigate a disgusting hotel where literally hundreds, if not thousands of kids have been brought in. Imagine that. Imagine in Florida, at least the Palm Beach police did go and check out when in the hell all these minors were turning up in weird situations inside that house. Well, the Clearo police was not that smart, apparently. And the Miami Herald did take it upon itself to dig in and find out, yeah, Jeffrey's real powerful and all, but why are they having access to all these girls? Why are they all minors? What the hell is going on? And then they did go on and publish everything that was going on. And that's what actually brought them down. But the Tampa Bay Times plays dumb. The Tampa Bay Times is all about cradling and canoodling executives that leave the hotel, that want to talk about David, because David is the Tampa Bay Times obsession, you guys. They couldn't be more obsessed. They couldn't be more ridiculously hung up on David for God knows what in the literal hell reason. Because that's what they always do, you guys. Just sell all of these like pathetic ways that they really want to help and they really care. And all they care is about making money for themselves, you guys. It's that pathetic. And it's even more pathetic than the Tampa Bay Times is propped up by a nonprofit that purports to really teach journalism. Because we would know as kids how investigations are supposed to be conducted, you guys. We did get taught by these executives in L. Ron Hubbard how to investigate, how to get to the bottom of things is what in the hell these people told us. And if we didn't get to the bottom of things, guess what would happen to us, you guys? Our heads would be on a pike faster than y'all heads can spin. So let that get through your thick skull, Tampa Bay Times, because you are getting called out for enabling on all of this systemic abuse of minors that you've literally plucked your eyes out of your sockets to pretend that religion, you guys, whatever it is that you want to do, just, you know, go get your freak on at the Fort Harrison Hotel. Why not? Parents are consenting. Nothing for us to do. Can't do anything. Sucks to be you. Better luck next lifetime. Don't pull it in next lifetime. Don't pull it in. That's what the Tampa Bay Times says, you guys. Don't pull it in. It's your fault. I mean, our state is lawless. Our state does grab the Constitution and shred it. Slavery. Oh my God. Who cares about that? Like, make kids slaves. Who cares? Just bring them to the hotel. By the time they wake up to anything, the statutes of limitation would have run out. And we have tons of great NDAs here to make sure that nobody speaks about anything. So we're all covered, right, Monique? Aren't all our dots, our I's dotted and our T's MF crossed? Well, almost, Monique, almost, until you decided that your little disgusting operation that was supposed to, at best, be this, you guys, at best, a 21 and up hotel. These people decided, no, it would be great to have kids because you know what? We do need to staff the hotels and we don't want to pay anybody to staff them. So why don't we just recruit a bunch of minors that don't know any better? We tell them that they're really going to save the world. And all of a sudden, as long as we're religiously following this, it won't be called trafficking anymore. Isn't that great, you guys? Trafficking only happens in rundown motels full of cockroaches. Oh, wait. That's the Quality Inn, you guys. That's the Quality Inn. But, you wouldn't know that if you ever read the Tampa Bay Times. You wouldn't even know that. All you would hear is a church and the church and the church, and let's cash all these checks of all these BS stories and watered down headlines that we really have been taking it up on ourselves. The editorial board of the Tampa Bay Times. Bravo. Y'all are so great. Y'all are so dumb and stupid and corrupt. And all the blood of all the kids that did get stuck in that hotel, it's on you, Tampa Bay Times. Your ineptitude could not be more clear AF to see. For everyone on display, you guys, this ain't my opinion. You guys can go and audit the headlines. Audit the headlines, you guys. What did the New York Times give us? Oh, yeah. You guys, the New York Times, the Tampa Bay Times was like, the truth rundown. Let's really go with that headline. Marty Rathbun and Mike Rinder are really going to give us the truth. And let's really call this the truth rundown because we're all about the truth at the Tampa Bay Times. The truth, the truth, the truth. Where's the truth, you guys? Where can we find the truth? Where can we type something real quick and just put up a BS watered down headline? Because who in the hell cares? So, yeah, Tampa Bay Times. It sucks to be you. It sucks that you're that stupid. It sucks that you are this complicit. It sucks that you play dumb on the side. It sucks that you're so thirsty for money that you'll write whatever in the hell these executives told you without a shred of critical thinking skills for yourselves. Why in the hell have you never had eyes inside of the hotel? Start explaining yourselves with just that one question. Why in the hell did you double check that the pitches that were being given to you by the executives that you did launder the image of, that you did platform, that you did give them like, oh yeah, you guys, these are the poor people. Let's really hear it out for them. It sucks to be them. Let's bring the violins. Let's really sing all together. Mike Rinder had dealt with the Tampa Bay Times plenty times, you guys, as the publicist, defender, crisis management, top watchdog defender of all things L. Ron Hubbard. Will start defending your actions already, Mike Rinder. Start defending what in the hell you propped up, together with your two amigos. So you don't feel like we're just coming after you. It's all of you together as a team. And how could we forget, you guys? They literally came up with the definition of a team. A team has a tendency to know what the other team members are doing and thinking and coordinates thereby and therewith. So in what world are these executives pitching their own definition, coordinating thereby and therewith, having the tendency to know what each other is doing and thinking. But all of a sudden, David did it all. David did it all, you guys. David, oh my God, if I told you about David, and then David yelled at us, and then David put us in a trash can, and then David put us in a trailer, and then it was so bad to be us, and we really want to cry. Were they crying when they were the slave owners? No. Were they crying where, they were all little worker bees working as a team? No. They weren't crying then when they had miners ironing their shirts, when they had miners having to fold their towels and, oh, sir, are you okay, sir? Should we bring you coffee, sir, in the morning, sir? Let me go call the chauffeur, sir. Let's make sure you're not late, sir. Oh, sir, would you like an alternative meal, sir, because you don't want to eat what everyone else is eating, sir? Here, a special meal for you, sir. Oh, let me take your dry cleaning, sir. They were having a jolly old time. As Debbie Cook, you guys, she's on the public record saying she loved it in the hotels. It was a great jolly old time. She was there for 17 plus years and she just loved it. Could not have enough of it, is what in the hell Debbie Cook says. So all of those points need to be, all of those receipts that make no shred of sense, you guys need to start making sense. Because apparently this country has no appetite to enforce a shred of laws. Literally is a lawless, do whatever in the hell you want inside of gigantic hotels and commercial buildings that, make Ghislaine and Epstein look like they're tiny little beans of nothing in comparison to the Matrix. They're all into black PR, collecting blackmail. They're all into having lavish, mansions and castles and whatever BS they needed to really bamboozle all the idiots that are all about getting a paid membership to the thing, you guys. As if we don't have literal billionaire Bob Duggan, literal millionaire Trish Duggan on the public record having donated $300 million plus to what? To underage trafficking of minors at an industrial size scale, you guys, something that they are first witnesses of, something that they benefit from, all the kids that are stuck inside of those hotels that are tapped to service them, the VIPs. So this disgusting operation couldn't be more on steroids, on crack, trafficking the kids while everyone plays dumb, recruiting parents that are willing to sell their kids to these hotels establishments, as if the parents don't get any financial benefits from dumping their kids inside the hotel, you guys. That's where everyone gets told, poor people, they're stuck in a cult. They have no shred of a clue. Oh my God. They had maybe no shred of a clue, you guys, but they did have consent. And as adults, that's actually the only MF thing that matters. That's the biggest differential between us, the ones that had no shred of consent, to the ones that went in there, had all the consent in the world, saw all the red flags, and decided to just go run right by them. Who in the hell cares? I'm going free. L. Ron Hubbard is going to give me a certificate. I can't wait to get onto a stage and tell everyone my big wins of my big certificate that I just got on the backs of kids that Debbie Cook will provide for me because I'm such an important public. So they couldn't be more implicated, you guys. And just like what Marissa said yesterday on our live, these people have been sanitizing the narrative AF. These people have been demonizing, literally demonizing, so that no one can have any critical thinking skills for themselves. Oh yeah, David Miscavige, everyone go and really lock him up. We're really going to get far, when one man who was abusing adults is going to see some repercussions. Isn't that great, you guys? Isn't that just so great? Because going back to Debbie Cook, how many kids did that woman have for herself inside of the hotel, you guys? Hundreds. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. Actually, thousands, except that they did rotate. Because, yes, you guys, we did sign for 1 billion years. But of course, none of us made it to 1 billion years. You know, by the time we were in our very early 20s, we got the hell out of there. It didn't matter how disgusting they wanted to keep us inside. I was washing bathrooms with muriatic acid for 6 months, getting interrogated every single day to prevent me from leaving. But guess what? At 21, I said, I don't give a single shred of an F. I want out of this MF hotel now. And yeah, 6 months later, they couldn't change my mind. No matter how hard they tried, and tried they did, you guys. Tried they did. They made my life miserable with my passport locked up, of course. I couldn't jump on a plane. I couldn't get on a motorcycle, Marty Rathbun style, and go, oh, I'm really pressed because Debbie Cook yelled at me. Let me just go take a little 10-day ride in my motorcycle and process my feelings. That option wasn't there for kids, you guys. But that option was there for all adults. Debbie Cook, blue. Mike Rinder, blue. Marty Rathbun, blue. Imagine all the traffickers get to blow. All the traffickers do things on their own terms. But they don't want to be told that. Believe you me, they don't want to be told that, because they want to be told, you know, David really did you wrong. David kicked you out of the 501c scam that you all propped up, and you were all so proud to wear your fake military uniforms to really purport that you had anything about you that was real. There was nothing real about these pathetic clowns, you guys. The only thing that's real is their thirst for kids. The only thing that's real is the systemic institutionalized abuse they all normalize for themselves, enabled AF by all the parents who did take it upon themselves there to dump their kids. So there's your willing co-conspirators. There's your willing parents that really did benefit financially from dumping their kids. So we would love to hear right about now from the IRS how we were having such a religious experience for ourselves as we were locked up in these hotels, as we didn't have our passports available to us, as our parents were running around pretending, literally pretending, being out of their mind, pretending that they were helping us. And everything they did was for our own best good. And oh, we have your back. Don't worry. We have your back. You're going to have a great time at the hotel. Go get locked up against your will. That's really going to make you go free. Because we would love to hear from all of these Scientology parents that do know the pitch, that do know the rules of engagement inside of these disgusting extremist role plays. And yes, you guys, some of them, got a couple of them very pressed. Serge, what are you talking about? Please miss us with your infantile delusion. Did L. Ron Hubbard write the auditor's code? Yes or no? Yes. Did L. Ron Hubbard say, never let a person end the session on their own determinism? Yes or no? Yes. Did you all enable systemic false imprisonment under the guise of you really want to help some person? Yes or no? Yes. So then what? You're only not caught because no one knows how in the hell to investigate a shred of a thing, you guys. Nobody grabs the book and says, fuck, look at this receipt we got here. It does say cannot end the session on their own determinism. And you were exposing kids to this? And they were consenting to this? So yes, by all means, I encourage all of you Scientology parents that want to come after me for saying that these are, we weren't doing extreme role play, Serge. We were just applying the technology, and then David we don't have a shred of patience left, you guys, for people that are willing to play dumb so that they can babysit their delusion, so that they can make themselves come across as, yeah, we really know what in the hell we were doing. It's just simply something that we don't have to concern ourselves with. We're not here to convince any of them about what in the hell they did. We're here to raise awareness because there's kids that have no advocates on the inside of these MF hotels. As we speak, everything that happened to us happens to other kids. All the parents that were out of their mind, our own parents, are now being recruited. New ones are now being like, who else do we bring in? As if Sebastian is not out there literally targeting families, Latin families that go to their winter wonderland. And, oh, this is a 14-year-old kid. Oh, yeah, we got courses for them too. Oh, yeah, just bring them all in. Free babysitting over there. We'll take care of them for you. We'll do whatever. So that is the unfortunate and disgusting state of affairs. Nothing has changed. The hotels run rampant with everyone playing dumb. And in what world are adults going to be saved from something they're consenting? Y'all have heard how many people have gone to Sebastian. Sebastian will help you. Sebastian, come with us. Sebastian, stop being there. You're telling a full-blown drug addict that grabs the drug, that injects himself every single day, that makes that choice as a full-grown adult. How are you going to intervene with Sebastian not injecting himself with the next L. Ron Hubbard pitch? Oh yeah, let me just normalize what I'm about to do. Here, L. Ron Hubbard, tell me. And that's what's being called out, you guys, because yeah, it's, you know, sometimes it could be just entertaining, ha ha ha, he he he, it's all fun, and but it's not fun. What happens after these people sink their claws inside of your parents? And again, it's like, who's left paying the price for that, you guys? The kids. That's who. If these people were transparent and saying, oh, no, you cannot bring your kids in here. This is only 21 and up. 21 and up. L. Ron Hubbard was very extremist. Look what it says in here to do. So you got to be willing to do this. You got to be having the consent of age to do this. And then, but there is no appetite for that, guys, because they all want to purport, oh, we're really helping the planet, you guys. Yeah, we all got to help the planet here. The Sea Org members were so good-natured. Go ask Ghislaine Maxwell if she was good-natured, you guys. Because that woman is still claiming she was innocent. And yes, why in the literal hell is only one woman paying the price for all the girls that got trafficked is what in the hell we're asking ourselves. And why in the literal hell is only one man being targeted as the only one who and why of every problem these executives were personally a part of? Willing co-conspirators is what in the hell it's called in the law. That's the name. That's the definition. Y'all that love clearing definitions, Scientology parents, Go and clear for yourselves the definition of co-conspirator and felonies and child trafficking and locking passports. And then also go clear the definition of a child so that the deranged, unhinged, degenerate pitch about how children are just adults in small bodies stops unsticking from your deluded AF brains. All Scientology parents and all Scientology adults. You thought Xenu was going to drive you crazy? The facts are going to drive you crazy. The facts of your disgusting criminal conspiracy. It's what's going to get you go completely cuckoo. By the time you realize how much you've been betrayed, good luck surviving. Good luck reconciling your past. Not inside a hotel, not inside the cans, not inside where you're cradled and canoodled by people that don't have a shred of a clue what in the hell they're doing. Because that's why these people are so addicted to that system, you guys. As if it's not a great place for a person that wants to commit felonies on a child and then have a very little safe, cozy hotel where, just sit here with us and, really tell us what you did. We're not going to tell you. We're not going to send you to the Clearwater police. We're not going to send you anywhere. We're just going to keep asking you for money and selling you programs to float away your self-admitted felonies. So please, Monique Yingling, make that make sense to us, the kids that were being used as pawns in that type of data mining operation. And if you don't know what in the hell I'm talking about, Monique, because every time you open your damn mouth, you sound like you don't know what in the hell you're talking about, call up your little friend, Mike Rinder. Call up your little friend, Debbie Cook. Call up your little friend, Marty Rathbun. And ask him to explain them. David might just yell at you and scream at you. So don't call him. Don't call David. Call the other 3 pathetic amigos that were all in your little matrix. Since you're so familiar with Debbie Cook, so you're so familiar with Marty Rathbun and Mike Rinder, that did take it upon themselves, you guys, as in their own words, spend 10 years working with attorneys to prop up this 511c that couldn't be more of a scam, that couldn't be more of a sham, that couldn't be more of a racketeering enterprise targeting underage minors. And by all means, all of you Scientology executives that want to push back on that narrative, by all means, try it. Try it. Because here you guys are going to see video evidence of how out of their mind they were. Here we're going to see video evidence, like I said, of Mike Rinder placing him at the flag at the hotel where I was locked up by Debbie Cook and Marty Rathbun. And where's Mike Rinder? Oh yeah, he's with the cops, you guys. Isn't that great that Mike Rinder has such great relationships with the cops? Isn't that great that he set it all up like that for them and they're still, his willing proteges didn't leave OSA, you guys. They're still there. Kathy True, Sarah Heller, Kristen Catano, the same people that Mike Rinder hand-selected for himself. Oh, you have what it takes to work at OSA. You have what it takes to work at OSA. You have shown the type of loyalty we need to do and cover up felonies and just be completely out of your mind. So yeah, Mike Rinder, tell us how, all the people you recruited to be in that office that are still there doing the dirty work that you left behind, how you've been able to dismantle that. Because maybe is your little watered down version of pitches that you keep sanitizing what's actually aiding and abetting all of this disgusting dysfunction to continue to be. And since you, unlike the people that are stuck at the hotel, don't have the excuse that we know of to be injecting yourself with the L. Ron Hubbard rhetoric to really prop up your delusions, then start making it make sense how in all of these years, you haven't been able to unpack a shred of trauma. You haven't been able to unpack a shred of truth for yourself other than, where's my next paycheck coming from? Over there. Let me, here you guys, buy 1 billion years. I'm really going to tell you all. And so far, all that was in your MF book, Mike Rinder, was 1 billion omissions and 1 billion paper clips. So thank you for your 1 billion paper clips. Thank you for your little like, oh yeah, this book is dedicated to my kids who are still stuck at the hotel, harassing me, saying that I'm a deadbeat dad. Are you? Are you a deadbeat dad, Mike Rinder, or not? And again, don't take it personal. Do you think my dad is not a deadbeat dad? Do you think Jenna Misvavige's dad is not a deadbeat dad? Do you think all the fathers that are stuck there witnessing their kids being abused and endorsing it are not all deadbeat AF? Yes. So as a little team, y'all are deadbeat dads from hell. And the fact is, your refusal to acknowledge that, the only reason we're pressed about that, Mike Rinder, just so that you're so clear, just so you're not confused whatsoever at all. The only reason it matters is because of y'all's refusal to come clean, other parents are now implicated, meaning other kids are now implicated. Because you're nowhere on the record repudiating and calling yourself out for what a disgusting deadbeat dad you were. Oh no. I had no shred of a clue. David Misvavige abused me. And you know what? It was really bad. That doesn't do anything. That doesn't move the needle at all. Your needle, Mike Rinder, couldn't be more stuck. And isn't that great, you guys? People in Scientology that have a lot of overts and withholds, guess what they tell you? Their needle just gets stuck on that machine. So that's what we have from you, Mike Rinder. A stuck needle for the last 18 years. A stuck needle. Because there's nothing on the public record that says what you've done that has stopped the abuse, that has stopped the insanity. So since you really did take it upon yourself to be a board member of a nonprofit, then from that position, you better start answering the questions that are being asked of you instead of delete all the critical comments, you guys, very OSA of him. Again, as if he wasn't operating the same, as if you made a shred of ethics change, Mike Rinder. You haven't. You haven't changed your ways. You've only camouflaged yourself better so that you are the one that's saving the world. So you really are living out your savior complex that you had. You haven't saved anybody. You've only ensnared them in disgusting adult-only games and then implicated all the kids to go in there. So since you refuse to undo it, we are here to call you out. We are here to demand accountability. Only actions are going to serve to see if you've changed at all. And so far, you've had 18 years to change, to show you changed, to show you wanted to do the right thing. And all you choose is do the wrong thing. And doing the wrong thing is a choice, you guys. Unfortunately for all of these adults, doing the wrong thing is actually a choice. So we already went an hour, guys, and we haven't even started this documentary, but it is what it is, right?
Have been brought against Scientology in her gruesome death. On the 3rd anniversary of her death, relatives of the victim and former Scientology'S gathered. We have scheduled a meeting with the former members. Among nines.
So, and here we have with these demonstrations, right, guys? Let the record show that when you really advocate for adults, unless you're Britney Spears, that's under a false conservatorship, as if we were not under false conservatorships by these disgusting enslavers ourselves. But again, the kids that were stuck at the hotel, as much as these people are saying, oh yeah, Lisa's blood is in your hands and la 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 la, that's fine. Yeah, Lisa's blood is in their hands. But how many children were stuck at the hotel when this was going on? How many? I mean, even Stacy, I mean, she at least interviewed a couple of girls that did manage to leave at the time. But again, the outrage for the level and size of their operation, you guys, doesn't match. Because their outrage is always like this, and the disgusting things that we're doing inside there are like that. And again, since all adults are implicated, if you were consenting and full knowing, you are implicated. But none of them want to, be that. Goes, I thought I was going to help a lot of people, you guys. I'm part of the good people. I thought I was going to help a lot. I thought I was going to do so many great things. Well, you know what? You weren't. You weren't doing any great things. So maybe double check what in the hell you were actually doing and do your OW write-up already. Time, place, form, and event of every criminal action you committed against kids inside the hotels. All Scientology parents and all Scientology executives.
Scientologists have died here under mysterious circumstances, among them 36-year-old Lisa McPherson. Charges have been brought against Scientology in her gruesome death. On the 3rd anniversary of her death, relatives of the victim and former Scientology'S gathered. We have scheduled a meeting with the former members. Among them, they have years of experience in the Scientology prison camps, such as where Whitgate is said to have spent some time. One of them is Jerry Armstrong. He was coordinator in the Scientology Intelligence Service and the confidant of Hubbard, the organization's founder. But even he fell from grace. He spent 2.5 years in the camps.
I was the founding father of the Clearwater RPF.
The first prisoner.
I was the first prisoner.
The first prisoner.
And here's this pathetic man, self-proclaimed confidant of L. Ron Hubbard, self-proclaimed intelligence officer. That again, you guys, just so you don't think Mike Rinder is the only pathetic one. Here you have another pathetic man that was all full knowing, that was all right next to L. Ron Hubbard, that saw how that disgusting, convicted, indicted felon was, that saw there were plenty of kids implicated in what in the hell they were doing. And all they want to do is self-aggrandize. And all they want to do, I was the founding. Do you think we give an F? You were the founding. Why in the hell are children in there, Gary? Why did you allow that to be the case? Oh no, it wasn't me, Serge. It was L. Ron Hubbard. So then why the hell were you there? Oh, I couldn't change anything. I couldn't do anything. Well, that's where we are, you guys. All of these adults claim they cannot do anything about anything. And that's why, as of this year, 2024, their public record advocating couldn't be more abysmal, couldn't be more selective amnesia epitomized. So that they really always come up as, pitching themselves as I'm such a great person and really listen to me because aren't I the confidant of L. Ron Hubbard? Doesn't that make me important? Doesn't my viewpoint really matter now?
And people really are prisoners. Scientology will say that people go voluntary. Absolutely not. To me, it was I was so devastated I couldn't eat for the first 36 hours. It was as if my whole life had been stripped from me because I knew, having been on the ship with Hubbard, I knew what the RPF meant.
So he knew what the RPF meant, and he knew that children were exposed, and yet there's nowhere in his awareness to advocate for that, you guys. And as of this year, 2024, all Scientology executives and all Scientology parents are guilty of the same thing. Don't think this is also just on Gary Arm. It's Gary, it's Mike Rinder, it's all of them. All of them full knowing, all of them knowing how deranged they were, but all of them were getting off on their little power trips. And here we have a literal receipt, flag conditions order, flag only. RPF assignments by order of the Commodore. Gary Armstrong and Terry Armstrong are assigned to the RPF effective on return. There may be a COMEV if desired. The charges would be insubordination, neglect of duty, and case on post. LRH personal communicator for the board of directors. Isn't that so wonderful, you guys, that all it took for them to false imprison literal adults, who's it's also a felony to false imprison an adult, you guys. I'm not saying it isn't. I don't give a shred of an F since I did consent, but that's just me since I was just a child there. But these people would violate the law by memo, by just writing themselves a memo. Oh, the board of directors, I'm a L. Ron Hubbard's personal communicator. Insubordination, case on post, neglect of duty. They could just come up with whatever type of charges they wanted to really pretend that they were legal people, that they didn't want to go to law school, that they just wanted to run their sham law inside the hotels. So just so you all can see it right there for yourselves, for your eyes, and just so you understand the type of receipts that exist, the type of evidence that these people kept on themselves, full knowing what L. Ron Hubbard made sure none of his proteges had or have is plausible deniability. They wrote it down like idiots. They video recorded it like self-entitled degenerates. They wrote it down on a piece of paper like utter imbeciles, and all of a sudden, everything goes, everything's wonderful. We know what in the hell we're doing. We don't want any oversight. Let us live our life. We really want to get to the freedom that we're being promised inside of these hotels by becoming slaves. Yeah, guys, it sucks that adults want to become slaves. It sucks that they think so little of themselves, and yet they did. And yet they made that choice. You cannot save an adult that wants to self-destruct. I'm sorry for all of you who are really, really mourning, what in the hell Shelly Misvavige could be running into. So just listen to what they say and just listen to what type of evidence they kept on themselves, because the receipts speak for themselves, literally.
He received this in writing, as shown by this document. Hubbard had charged him with 3 offenses: disobeying an order, neglect of duty, and poor work performance. Scientology has its own panel system with prosecutors, judges, and the accompanying prison camps. Of course, Scientology does not call them prison camps. They call it the Rehabilitation Project Force, RPF for short. These camps in
And just so we all read it for ourselves, you guys. Rock slammers, low OCA. Remember what Sebastian is having everyone do for themselves? Oh yeah, come and get a personality test. Let me give you the OCA. So if your OCA was low, that was good enough for them to false imprison you. Just your OCA being low. Imagine children were being sent to the RPF because their OCA was low. That's all the requirement they needed to send someone off for years on end, assigned to disgusting work for years on end just because their OCA was low or they made a bad product. New recruits and those veterans who are not product 0 and who are not tipped for product 1 are posted in the EPF for product 0 and required. If anybody while on the EPF is found to be one of the categories 1 through 4 above, he is at once routed to the RPF. So just so y'all can see the type of like indictments these degenerates would put kids through and the type of policies they're using to really prop up their power trips from hell.
The USA and Europe are run exclusively for people who don't fit into the elitist Sea Org. Hubbard determined the personal restrictions and penalties for them by 1974. The prison laborers are re-educated and made tractable by hard labor, compulsory hypnosis and brainwashing. All according to the slogan, "The RPF is what we make it." The RPF is where we...
And yeah, you guys, that disgusting motto is what we were literally told to chant every disgusting morning at 6 a.m. So picture yourself inside of a moldy AF, disgusting apartment building converted into a room where there was 130 people, 45 of them minors, mixed in with self-admitted felons, where we were put next to the disgusting self-admitted pedos to chant right next to each other. The RPF is what we make it. The RPF is where we make it. Where is it? The RPF is what we make it. The RPF is where we make it. Why in the literal hell was I there as a minor Debbie Cook chanting this stupid shit so you and Marty could live out your little power trip? Not to mention Angie Disgusting Trent. That's the woman that sent me there. But don't worry, she definitely told Debbie Cook about it. And don't worry, Debbie Cook was super happy about it. Oh, okay, well, that's great, sir. Let's get him to rehabilitate himself. Because, yeah, he's been problematic and he's not doing enough work, is what Debbie Cook said, you guys. Not great.
make it. Scientology sells the RPF to its thousands of Sea Org members as their last chance to stay in the elite unit.
Has no liberties, you guys, means has no day offs. I can count with my fingers how many days off I had when they were allowed. So you can imagine what that disgusting, moldy AF, horrific apartment building in Florida was, as I was isolated, as I couldn't speak to anyone in my family. Anything I ever wrote to anyone had to be put in writing and had to be read by about 5 or 6 people before it ever left the base. So it couldn't be more controlled. It couldn't be more child trafficking if they didn't write the blueprint of trafficking.
By order, the camp inmates have no liberties. They are isolated and may not speak to anybody. Jesse Prince, formerly the second-ranking man in the Scientology management team. Even he was put away in the notorious Happy Valley prison camp for refusal to obey orders. That is also where Whip Cage is presumed to be.
It was horrible. In Happy Valley, where I left, when I first went there, I literally slept on a wooden floor with rattlesnakes, scorpions, black widows, you name it, running rampant in a shack.
That is...
Isn't that great, you guys? And let's not forget for a second, because again, out of context completely, yes, these people were facing that. But guess what? Happy Valley was where the kids were also being kept, you guys. Isn't that so great? These people thought, oh, well, you know what? We should put all the RPFers, the most grossest of all of our people, right next to the kids. And you know who also had to deal with scorpions and all the disgusting insects that were running around? That's right, the kids. So again, none of these points made by any of these adults, because I guess it doesn't matter to them.
Stacy Brooks. She was a member of management of the Scientology Secret Service, and I was a puppet for over 15 years, she said.
Well, shout out to her, you guys. Shout out to Stacy Brooks, who is probably the first executive on the record that calls herself out as the puppet that she was when she did all of those disgusting things for these people. At least she called herself a puppet, you guys, at least for that. Because it would be great for, other people to start admitting what type of puppets they were for themselves.
You really honestly believe when you're a Scientologist that it is the only route to happiness. And that if you leave it, you have no hope of ever being happy. I mean, you honestly believe that when you're in there. And I don't know how they're able to accomplish that belief. All I can do is describe it. Vaughn agreed to go back to the RPF because he truly believed that it was very important for him to continue to be a Scientologist. This was the only way that they would allow him to continue to be a Scientologist. And so, people submit to the most degrading, abusive, terrifying experiences that you can imagine for the sake of this elusive and delusional idea.
We'll give it up for transparency, you guys. Elusive, delusional idea. And again, we don't know how any of these people arrived at the conclusion for themselves that, yeah, it was a great idea for them to be locking up children against their will, abusing kids at an industrial size scale, and all be normalized. And you know what? Lucky for us, we don't give a shred of an F or care why y'all arrived at that conclusion. All we care about is that y'all did arrive at that conclusion and y'all acted on arriving at that conclusion and then subsequently exposing all the minors to said conclusion. So for the people in the back, you guys, that again, executives that are really scratching their heads, oh, how was I so out of my mind? We don't care whatever in the hell reason you had to be out of your MF mind. That's not for all the kids that got abused to really have to sit there and sort out for you. So better that you start coming clean, better than you start actually resolving the type of problems that you all created as an adult collective. Given that if y'all wouldn't have been so goo goo gaga for L. Ron Hubbard, and you would have stopped yourselves and you would have said, no, guys, this is completely illegal AF. What in the hell we're doing? We need to stop it. But there is none of that, you guys. These people were so certain of themselves. They were so certain of how elite they were. And with all that confidence, they became full-blown, unhinged, child-abusing cons. So those are the facts. Those are the side effects of doing this with the L. Ron Hubbard rhetoric, you guys. If you shoot that rhetoric up, warning, label AF. Warning. We're sounding the alarm, y'all. Breaking news. Warning. Side effects, you'll become a degenerate. Side effects, you'll become a child trafficker. Side effects, you'll become a complete unhinged, crazy ass, but really pitch yourself as an amazing person that really wanted to humanely help anybody by locking themselves and the person in a room and really therapeutically help. Whatever in the hell these people want to pitch was therapeutic about locking kids inside hotel rooms against their MF will. So now all of the Scientology parents and Scientology executives that want to play dumb, y'all have been warned. Y'all have been told what the side effects of the goddamn rhetoric was. So no more room for you to play dumb. No more you having the benefit of the doubt because, you know, maybe there's good Scientologists and maybe there's bad Scientologists. Were you applying the technology of L. Ron Hubbard to kids? Yes or no? Good. If you did that, then you are that. That's all. So calculate that decision and start really looking at the type of repercussions that you never saw, that you never considered, that you never gave a shred of an F when you were committing the illegal activity. Well, you know what? Today would be a great day to really start connecting that and see what actually applies to all of you Scientology parents and adults that, like Stacy, you know, really want to sit there with Bambi eyes and going, I don't know how you got there. I don't know how I got there. I don't know how any of us get there. And we don't even give an F how you get there. We don't give an F how Ghislaine ended up doing all the dirty work she did for Jeffrey. I don't give a shred of an F, you guys. I don't need to understand why Ghislaine did that. All I need to know is that she did that and that is disgusting and unacceptable AF. That's all I need to know. Miss me with everything else. All of Ghislaine's problems, all of her psychological childhood whatevers are irrelevant to all the victims that she abused. But in our case, we keep getting told, oh, well, you know what? Cradle and canoodle all your traffickers because they had no shred of a clue what in the hell they were doing. And people only feel that way about them, guys, because that's what they go and claim. Oh, God. I was the victim. I was abused. I had a problem. Me. And my kids, oh, whatever. My kids, next lifetime, choose a Scientology parent that's not a Scientology parent, and you'll have a great, jolly old time in your next lifetime is what we're told, you guys.
The prison camps are there, but you don't see them. A splendidly renovated hotel in Clearwater, here is Fort Harrison, with every sort of comfort for its guests. In Los Angeles, a former hospital done over completely in blue. Near there or under there in garages or in basements are the reformatories for the misfits. Outside of the big cities, on the edge of the desert, 2 hours drive from Los Angeles is Happy Valley, the prison camp for the elite.
The reason is to further his control and domination of Scientologists and Sea Org members. Scientology exerts incredible control over its people, right from the beginning. As soon as you enter the door of Scientology, they seek to control more and more and more of your life. And the RPF is like the ultimate control because you are completely dominated by the organization and by the RPF rules. They're incredibly restrictive. You had no newspapers, no magazines, no radio, really no contact. You were not allowed to speak to anyone else unless spoken to. You ate after the rest of the crew, and you ate whatever was left after the rest of the crew was fed. You had to run everywhere, including running on this ship.
Clearwater, Florida.
So you guys just heard from him how much domination is involved. How much domination was involved from this institution and this organization and all of the pitches of L. Ron Hubbard had everything to do with domination. And again, shout out to all of you consenting adults that did read the rhetoric, that did read the pitch right here: dominate, subjugate, squash, erode boundaries, be unhinged, not give a fuck, double down, triple down. All of that was in the MF rhetoric. So with what straight face are you going to play victim after you read the rhetoric, you implemented the rhetoric, you did everything you were told to do for as many decades as you did, Gary Armstrong? It's like, I'm sure right about now, all the SS officers that were literally murdering Jews in gas chambers would love to say, oh yeah, you know, it was a really bad culture what we were a part of before, but we were just influenced by Adolf Hitler to do it. I mean, we didn't want to do it, but you know, everybody was doing it. So I mean, if everybody was doing it, why was I not going to do it? I would have been in trouble if I didn't do it. So it sucks to be me. Yeah, it really does suck to be anyone who was in the orbit of L. Ron Hubbard and who didn't take it upon themselves to stop that disgusting degenerate. Had any of y'all done your job, had any of y'all stopped the degenerate, have any of y'all had actually confronted the degenerate and start making it about everyone else that has not the main degenerate that was running your lives with a remote control? So yes, Scientology parent, you loved being run on remote control. Well, start explaining why in the hell you put children under remote control, because that's the part that doesn't make a shred of sense today. That part right there. Why in the hell were you running kids under remote control?
In August 1998, we succeeded for the first time in filming a group of Scientology's RPF prison camp laborers. They were renovating.
Look at that, you guys. You see that there? The armbands you see in their arms, these are black armbands, meaning these people, there's 3 armbands that they give you in the RPF. A gold armband, which was yellow, a white armband, and a black armband. The black armband, you couldn't keep your own ethics in, so everyone had to watch you. A white armband meant you could keep your ethics in, so not everybody had to watch you. And the gold armband was you can keep your ethics in and you put people's ethics in on others. So again, why in the literal hell is false imprisonment in a disgusting, mold-infested Florida shell of apartment building, Hacienda Gardens, where children being told to wear armbands? Why were they exposed to that Debbie Cook? Because Debbie Cook, you guys, she sent so many kids to the RPF. Angie Blankenship would send so many kids to the RPF. Jenny DeVocht Linson, let's not forget that little crazy ass yelling and screaming with like her eyeballs popping out of her. They would love sending people to the RPF, you guys. They got off on it. It made them feel powerful. It made them feel important. It made them feel that they were really going to save the world. Isn't that great? Let's lock people up. Let's have them work for free and let's save a lot.
The Scientology-operated Fort Harrison Hotel. Even old women are exploited for this work, where it is 110 degrees in the shade. Their daily wage, $1.20.
I don't think.
Change of location at the center in Copenhagen. Another hotel. This time it's the Scientology Nordland Hotel, again with an integrated prison camp. Who would be surprised that they don't want us here? We have made an appointment with the Danish woman, Susanne Schernikau. Almost 2 years of her life was spent here behind this facade. The organization's buildings are all over Copenhagen. All are being renovated in order to bring Scientology's customers in at a fast pace. There is much work that needs to be done. As was the case with BPH, Susanne was also accused of financial manipulation. My offense, according to Scientology, was financial fraud, and that I had behaved very badly. For example, in Munich, I had
Imagine being the people that can tell other people that they're committing financial fraud, you guys, when their whole entire sham is financial fraud. So these executives of Scientology love to, really project whatever they do, they want to project onto others. And apparently this woman got the grunt of that too, unfortunately for her.
gone with a normal person to eat. Because I was married, that was not okay.
Weil ich verheiratet war, ist das nicht okay.
By November 13, 1989, she had gone too far. She was assigned to the RPF in Copenhagen, as this document shows. Ethics, morals, and Scientology. An offense is severely punished. Scientology's ethics are synonymous with total obedience, suppression, and forced re-education. That is where people end up who make mistakes. Forced laborers are produced according to need.
Check it out, you guys. I mean, that looks scary AF. Another hotel, like he said, they were in. But just look at the disgusting, dilapidated conditions. Unfortunately, we don't have the Florida moldy, disgusting apartments where Debbie Cook was locking us up. But, just imagine it. If it's disgusting like this in Denmark, imagine the infestation of mold inside of the disgusting, apartment buildings full of so gross, you guys.
Sometimes more, sometimes less.
Zum Beispiel gab es in Kopenhagen ein Gebäude.
For instance, in Copenhagen, there was a building which was a total wreck, and we cleaned it from top to bottom, cleaned all the pigeons off the window ledges, rats and mice, and so forth. We began to paint, carpet, renovate, everything.
Zu malen, tapezieren, renovieren, alles.
We were always the last to eat. Only breakfast was really okay. Other than that, the food was very bad. The beds were very bad. We slept 12 people to a room. The solidarity of the group is emphasized, especially in the elite C organization, Sea Org for short. Created by Hobbit, it is the heartbeat of Scientology, his private army. They want world domination, and that needs an army. And into this one come only the best.
Oh, look, you guys. The most disgusting, abominable women, the traffickers, all proteges of David Miscavige right here on the screen for everyone to see. So right here in the center, you guys, you can see Sue Pichet Gentry. Another one of these little executives that, had a little tiff and did manage to blow. Never mind that she got brought right back. Okay, but she was in the Clearwater Hotel. This woman over here to her left, as she's looking towards us, her name is Marina Pizzotti. Okay, you guys, so there's Marina Pizzotti, an Italian unhinged woman. She was yelling, screaming. She was known for being sadistic AF. So there's little Marina Pizzotti. This woman was also there, but only for a little bit, so I don't know a lot about her. The next one over here, her name is Anne Rathbun. Isn't that great, you guys? Marty Rathbun's own wife. Another one of these disgusting, unhinged French women that thought they were literally, her shit didn't stink. She was so self-righteous and disgusting to all the kids. She would run around the hotel, inspecting the hotel. Oh, I'm the big executive, you guys. And everybody had to be like, oh my God, Mr. Rathbun is coming. And then she'd be like screaming, why is there a piece of paper on the floor? Oh my God, this is disgusting. Your whole course room is disgusting. You need to go to ethics. You need to wash dishes. You need to get your ethics in. So that's little Marty Rathbun's wife. Then over here we have Ricky Jensen. So shout out to Ricky Jensen that was in Denmark, and shout out to Ricky Jensen who literally oversaw exactly how Lisa literally, what in the hell happened to her. So she was disappeared out of the Clearwater Hotel after she was fully implicated in, practicing medicine and law without a license all over Lisa's situationship. Then here in the background, you guys, you almost can't see her, and I am going to get a better picture of this MFer right here. This is Angie Trent, you guys, the woman who sent me to that disgusting RPF. So not that you really can see her, but she's right here. She's the one that interrogated me and sent me to the RPF, wrote my RPF assignment, and as a minor, had me removed and locked up against my will to be twinned by the literal self-admitted pedo that Marty Rathbun sent there. So, and then next to her is Francine Ledusser, another one of these unhinged, crazy AF French-Canadian women. She was a French-Canadian woman that would curse up a storm, you guys. She would just jump into the room and be like, don't fuck with us. And then she'd like storm out. And she was like known for just literally being out of her literal mind. But everybody had to pretend that she really knew what in the hell she was talking about because, she was a feisty one. She was a yeller and a screamer. I mean, that's what you needed to be if you were going to be part of Dave's little army of degenerate, child abusing women. You had to prove to Dave that you were that. So hip, hip, hooray for all of them.
Best. Immortality, power, consensus, and invincibility. Rattling sabers, and then the fall. Unexpected and final.
Oh, look, you guys, we don't have to look for Shelley Miscavige anymore because she's right there where she needs to be. Next to this MFer, next to that MFer, next to all these clowns wearing fake uniforms, as if David is not leading their little fake pageant that they were holding for themselves with their little fake military uniforms, and we're really going to save the world, and we really know what in the hell we're doing, and we're all such goody two-shoes inside of the hotel, and we really care, and all of that. So there's your picture of all of these crazy asses, deranged AF, role-playing their wildest fantasy, being enabled by the United States government to literally abduct as many minors as they want and literally subject all those kids to whatever in the hell L. Ron Hubbard pitched. Because why not get your freak on if L. Ron Hubbard wrote it in a book? That would be a great question for all of you guys to ask them. Why were you all getting your freak on with kids inside of those hotels? Why were you overriding all common sense boundaries between all of y'all and the kids? David Miscavige. Oh, look, there's even Biddy Miscavige. So why did that happen, Biddy? Why in the hell did that happen, Biddy Miscavige? As if you weren't WDC FSO, as if you were not the senior of Debbie Cook, as if you didn't have your own children implicated into the Sea Org. Literally, you guys, I mean, it's so nauseating to see them all smiling and all just pretending that they were so official, because you better believe us as kids watching these MFers with their little clown uniform, we really thought they were legit. They were scary. They were scary AF.
Man lebt mit dem Überzeugnis.
You live with the conviction that you already have everything under control, and when that does not happen, you realize that you do not have everything under control. And somehow the whole idea that you were part of an elite group plunges headlong into the ground.
man fängt in den RPF an mit einem schwarzen
You
Armband.
begin the
Dann,
RPF
wenn dein
with a
Ethik
black armband.
gut
Then, if
vorangeht,
your ethics go
dann
well,
kriegst du
you
eine
get a
weiße
white
Armband.
armband. The difference
Unterschied
is
ist mit dem
with a
schwarzen
black
Armband
armband and there's a
als
married person in the Sea
Verheiratete Person in
Org,
der
you
Sea
may
Org,
not see your
dann
husband.
darfst du deinen
You may
Mann
not
nicht sehen.
speak to him
Du
if he
darfst
does
ihn
not
nicht
speak with you.
ansprechen, wenn er
With
nicht
the
zu
white
dir redet.
armband, you may spend 3 hours
Mit
per
dem
week
weißen
together
Armband
with your
darfst du
second
3
dynamic.
Stunden
That
pro
means your
Woche
family, your
mit
husband,
deiner
and
zweiten
possibly
Dynamik, also
children.
deine Familie, dein Mann,
You may
eventuell
still
Kinder
not speak with your
zusammenbringen.
husband unless he speaks to you.
Du
Then
darfst
you get
immer noch
more.
nicht deinen Mann ansprechen, wenn
That
er dich nicht
means
anspricht.
that you can earn a gold armband.
Dann kannst du noch mehr werden. Das heißt,
With a
dass du
gold
ein
armband, you
goldenes
may spend
Armband
one night a
verdienst.
week with your family.
Und mit einem goldenen Armband darfst du eine Nacht pro Woche bei deiner Familie übernachten.
You can picture the structure of the RPF as Susanne drew it up in the camp and learned by heart. Chief of the group, but a co-prisoner at the same time is the bosun. Under him is the STO, responsible for the assignment of work, and the MAA, who is responsible for keeping the rules of the camp. Under that is the tech, responsible for the material and the equipment. Qual supervises the performance of the work. The rank and file form the individual sections A, B, and C. Work groups have up to 10 people. These are assigned to the actual renovation work, as is the case here in Clearwater. The control of each other is omnipresent and perfect. And the equipment.
And that photo, you guys, I didn't even realize. Sorry, I skipped this. Well, hold on. Let me pause this at this
Qual
photo. I wanna show
supervises
you
the
something.
performance of the work. The rank and file form the individual sections A, B, and C. Work groups have up to
Okay, so that his name is Marty, this guy from Australia. The guy that just walked behind him, his name was Leif. Another one
10
from
people.
UK.
These are assigned to the actual renovation work, as is the case here in Clearwater. The control of each
Oh, okay.
other.
So here, this one here that you see, this woman with the white hair, her name was Becky Hughes, you guys. Becky Hughes had been in the RPF locked up for 12 years by the time that I arrived in the RPF. I was stuck in that RPF for 2 years. And Becky Hughes was still there by the time I left. I mean, that woman probably did 20 years inside of this disgusting RPF. I mean, this is creepy because I remember there was a big flap. We had to be renovating the Fort Harrison, and there was a big flap that these people got the footage of these RPFers doing this work. But, you know, when the kids, they didn't allow us to go and be seen anywhere. So there's no kids here. You only see the adults, but plenty of kids inside the RPF, you guys.
Is omnipresent and perfect. None can escape it.
Man beobachtet alle andere und weiß, dass alle andere auch dich und alle anderen
You keep all the others
beobachten. Also
under
das ist
observation
normal.
and know that all the
Jeder
others are
kann
watching you and
zur
each
Seite
other. That
treten.
is normal. Anybody can get out of line.
Die-
Those are
das
the
ist die
people who
wenigsten Leute,
least
die das
want to
selber
know
erkennen
themselves.
will.
That means that other people bring it to your
Andere Leute
attention
machen dich
with a
darauf
knowledge
ein bisschen
report that
direkt
you
oder
have made a
Knowledge
mistake.
Report aufmerksam,
That
dass
means
du
you
einen
have to
Fehler
look
gemacht
up
hast.
that mistake
Das
face
heißt, du
on
musst
and
diese
handle
Fehler
it
in die Augen
somehow
schauen
in some way.
und
And
handhaben
then
irgendwie.
show the group that you have made up for it.
Und dann zeigen, die Gruppe zeigen, dass du wieder gut drauf bist. Ne?
Those are the knowledge reports with which one shows his true loyalty. Everybody watches everybody else, everybody betrays everybody else, and puts this down.
See you guys right there, knowledge report. This is not the first instance also occurring in ASHO when we were the EPFers. We were working together. When we entered an area where the EPFers had been working, we lost a lot of time repairing over products. This is true, Suzanne. So here it is, live for all of you to see. The snitching culture inside of Scientology couldn't have been more disgusting and unhinged.
Down on paper. Here, Susanne turns in another work group to their superiors. The smallest necessity in the RPF camp must be asked for in writing. Susanne requested, I have only one work suit and no cap. Without a complete uniform, I am breaking the regulations, and I have to wash my clothes urgently. Request denied. Instructions? Wash your work cloth at night and hang them in the boiler room so that they will be dry in the morning. The European headquarters of Scientology in Copenhagen. Thousands of adherents stream year after year into this building in order to get closer to immortality by taking courses. We wanted to check out Susanne's statements. Together with her, we met there with the press spokeswoman of Scientology in Europe. She said she was ready to give information about the rehabilitation camp system. For her, it was a unique chance to ethically get back into shape.
Well, there is a program that is allowed for a person who made some serious blunder in the church. It's a person that is offered the possibility, what it is, contrary to what she's saying, I'm sure, is when a person makes serious mistakes, she's given, normally in any other area, she would be kicked out or fired from a group for the.
Isn't that great, you guys? Oh, if you would have made any mistake in another area, you would have been kicked out. I mean, isn't that great that we will just lock you up against your will, have you work for 8 hours straight doing heavy construction work, and then get you interrogated for 5 hours? At this point, I think I'm going to take the firing before I get false in prison. I don't know about you guys, but I really want you to pay attention to this woman that really pitches the RPF as a wonderful thing, because here's another example of an adult that consented to do the program, and you'll hear how wonderful it was for her to be part of that.
Mistake they made. We offer the possibility to the person to do the rehabilitation project force, where the person learns how to learns what he did exactly that was wrong. He is given some technology where he can avoid making the same mistake again, and he works 5 hours a day. He studies 5 hours a day, and then he works in doing different projects. No, I don't hate these people. I don't. What are your feelings? My feeling doesn't matter on this thing. As I said earlier, they yap, and that's all. It's like just annoying, and it's just annoying because they do not say the truth of what Scientology is. They're upset about whatever. Okay, when you're upset, you might say things that are a bit overboard, but it does not matter really to us because we will be continuing to be there. And no matter what they say and what they yap, there are thousands of people coming in and wanting to know what Scientology is, and life goes on. It carries on.
Their lives go on.
Isn't that great, you guys? She doesn't hate anyone, and she's just annoyed that we're yapping. So obviously that documentary did not age well for that woman. Who knows where in the hell she is. But I just want you to show you guys from Scientologists' own mouths. If you grab Shelley Miscavige today, she would sound like this pathetic woman. All the Scientology executives sound like this pathetic woman because they do love it in the hotels for themselves. They're very, very happy there when they're happy. Unless something bad happens to them, then they have a problem. Then they yap and all of that. So, but here's another example of a raving review of a woman that was falsely imprisoned and loved it. And can pitch it with a straight face. How, oh my God, well, at least we give them a chance. And if they don't want to do it, well, it sucks to be them. Aren't we so charitable inside of this fake AF child trafficking sham 501c? Right, guys? I mean, literally, how in the hell do you pitch that with a straight face? I mean, going back to the point, it's like adults love it, you guys. Like, how can I make this point enough? They love being degraded. They love being humiliated. They love being false imprisoned. They love literally just being shat on by whoever executive is running around They get off on it. They love their little culture and they are getting off on it. So you cannot save adults that are doing that. You cannot save it. You cannot make them not want to do what in the hell they're doing. There is no intervention for a woman that speaks with this much arrogance and self-righteousness and couldn't be more confident of what in the hell she's doing in that hotel. But again, was this press agent asking her, oh, are minors implicated? No. The documentary missed that because as it's been with all of the Scientology press coverage, all they ever give a single shred of an F about is adults having problems for themselves. Even though it's always been obvious there's kids involved, AF, but no documentarian, no press person, no investigative journalist has ever connected a shred of dot. They've only cashed checks for themselves, you guys. They've only propped themselves as relevant by really wanting to tell you what in the hell goes on, where, you know, literally reckless Ben runs circles around these people because all he had to do was get a pair of Google glasses and all of a sudden you're getting the real interrogations that they're doing on you. You're getting how real unhinged they are inside of that culture. And it's not a secondhand narrative. Somebody told me that somebody told them that they also told them. Because that's all the press ever goes with. That's all the Tampa Bay Times ever goes with. Let's go and ask all the co-conspirators what was going on in the hotel, because I'm sure they'll have no reason to lie to us. The pathetic, gullible people at the Tampa Bay Times is how they think and how they operate on a full-time basis, you guys. Isn't that great? That's why Florida's so effed up, you guys, because they have no investigative reporting going on, because they do love just letting whatever slide. They love propping up places for kids to be trafficked. Ghislaine and Jeffrey got away with it for a long time. And, you know, Scientology is decades and decades and decades of this.
Not only tomorrow and the next day, but for billions of years. The Sea Org members sign a work contract. Accordingly, therefore, I contract myself to the Sea Organization for the next billion years. And that's for $130 a month, as former members tell us.
Well, look, you guys, there's Marty Rathbun's wife. Anne Rathbun. Isn't that great? Look at her little smile that she's got going on for herself there. And these two other ones over here to her right were two kids that grew up in Scientology. This girl had a father that brought her in. And this guy was someone that she married because they saw each other at the Free Winds Flotilla ship. And then all of a sudden they wanted to get married. And then all of a sudden they got recruited into the Sea Org. But by this time they were over the age of 21, you guys. But here's another example of clownery exemplified. Stolen valor AF. Why the hell does this woman have all these flags here? Look at Anne Rathbun. She's got a ton of flags, you guys. She really knew what in the hell she was doing. But look at the guy, doesn't have almost any. So it couldn't be more fake or pathetic that they all just thought, as long as I dress myself like a fake military person, then everyone is going to buy my pitch. Isn't that great, you guys? The thing that should have made these people complete clowns, I mean, they should have at least put on some like religious garments, you would think, if they were really trying to sell themselves as religious. But, you know, they always knew that they weren't a religion, you guys. They always knew that. They always knew that they were applying a technology. So, yet again, their clownery on full display for all of you to see. and the big smiles of Anne Rathbun, who smiles ear to ear as she abuses kids herself inside of the hotel, as she goes and screams and yells and tortures kids inside of her hotels, next to Debbie Cook, next to Angie Blankenship, next to all of those unhinged women.
Elite organization for eternity. The only question is, whose?
I'm a Sea Org member, and I have my uniform.
You're proud to be a Sea Org member?
Definitely.
And why?
Because the purpose of it, what I do, what I accomplish, the good I do the whole week is very worthwhile, is very rewarding.
They are sure.
See, there you go, guys. Again, from an adult's mouth. Before, this is before they decided, oh, we're not going to talk to anyone anymore, because no matter what type of unhinged, deranged person we put in front of a camera, it's never going to look good on us. That's why you're not getting Shelley Miscavige to come and blab like this woman. But believe you me, Shelley Miscavige will be blabbing the same thing. Oh my God, I love it. Oh my God, I'm so proud about what I do. Oh my God, I'm just great to be a Sea Org member. It's no better time to be a Sea Org member. It's no better time to be, unhinged, running around a hotel with power trips that are deranged AF, where nobody checks us because we have no oversight, because we really made sure no one could go inside of the hotel that wasn't vetted. Isn't that great, you guys? All they had to do was prevent anyone from vetting anything inside, have no oversight, and have their little freak-ons, just the way L. Ron Hubbard told them to do. Little adult crazy asses yelling, screaming, wearing fake military uniforms, pretending they're saving the world. I mean, how deranged and infantile is all of this? Seriously.
Truly unbeatable when it comes to one thing in particular: delusions of grandeur and fondness for theatrical drama and fine-tuned propaganda. In the center of the power rush is the current leader, David Miscavige. Since 1986, he has been the successor of L. Ron Hubbard.
There will be no more nothing, because on October the 1st, 1993, at 8:37 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the IRS issued letters recognizing Scientology and every one of its organizations as fully tax-exempt. The war is over!
Oh, leave it to David Miscavige to tell on himself, you guys. Imagine the idiot. Instead of saying, oh, the IRS recognizes us as a church, they recognize us as tax exempt. Is that what you were so proud about, David? That you're now tax exempt because now you don't have to pay taxes and you really achieved something by not paying taxes? The only thing you achieved was no oversight, David. And you know what? You should have begged to have oversight. You should have begged to have attorneys that knew what in the hell they were doing, so you wouldn't have all the legal exposure and legal liability on your own damn hands, David. But let the public record show that David didn't give a shred of an F about his so-called religion that he really was fighting for. Him and his little friend Marty Rathbun and Mike Rinder, they all gave an F about grifting and figuring out how to give none of that grift to the United States government. The pathetic United States government, who literally bends at the knee of high school dropout Mike Rinder, of high school dropout Marty Rathbun, of high school dropout David Miscavige. That's who the IRS is, you guys. So any of you that are high school dropouts that want to prop up anything shady AF, call Monique right away, because she, for the right price, will make it go very right for you, as proven by her record of being Miss Little, no shred of due diligence, Monique Yingling. She'll just type up whatever you tell her to type up. She'll type it up real quick, call up her friends at the DOJ. Hey, can you really do us a solid here? Call up her little friends at the IRS. Hey, can you do us a solid here? Call up her little friends in Washington, D.C. Can you do us a solid here? I'm Monique Yingling. I went to a great Ivy League school. I really know what in the hell I'm doing, but I have no critical thinking skills because high school dropouts can just little bat their eyes. Little David, oh, please, Monique, help us. Little Marty Rathbun, okay, please, Monique, help us. Little Mike Rinder, Monique, we really want to save the world. Please help us save the world, Monique. And there is Monique typing whatever in the hell she gets told to type. Okay, no, that's not sounding very religious. Let's call it scripture, okay? Let's call it scripture, you guys. Yeah, let's really do a lot for the community. Let's come up with fake things that we pull out of our ass to really purport that we're helping people off drugs and crime and all of that, even though you're not giving a shred of an F about that. But you know what? We have to just set that up to make it look like we are. Imagine that that was one of Mike Rinder's and, you know, little Marty Rathbun's project, you guys, to come up with fake criminon. We're really going to fight crime, you guys. Narcanon. We're really going to find narcotics, guys. Able, we're really going to help people study, guys. And all Scientology had to do to become tax exempt is not become Scientology, because neither Criminon, nor Narcanon, no any of that shit was anything that L. Ron Hubbard gave a fuck about. Isn't that great, you guys? That the wishes of L. Ron Hubbard, nobody gave an F about because he was already dead AF underground. Paranoid, thinking that the FBI was going to come and grab him any second. But don't worry, in come in the three amigos, Marty Rathbun, David Miscavige, and Rinder to save the world on their literal shoulders.
He's actually quite a short person himself, and he's very paranoid because I believe of what he does, that he feels that someone's going to hurt him, so he has to hurt them first.
Welcome to church.
Miscavige the fake. Welcome to church. You guys, again, none of these MFers said that inside the hotels. They never said, oh, you're in the church. This is a church. They knew. Get people inside the hotel. Did you get your reservation done? Did you get your confirm? Are they arriving to the room? Who's going to service them when they arrive? Who's going to pick up their luggage? Who's going to go get them from the airport? How many days are they going to stay? What type of church is asking those questions, Monique Yingling? Because we would love to understand what type of hotels you frequent or what type of churches you frequent that also offer room service, because that would be really great to understand right about now.
100 miles east of Los Angeles, 2 hours drive away. Below us is Gilman Hot Springs, the secret world headquarters of Scientology. This is where David Miscavige pulls the strings of his power. The site resembles a vacation resort, grand houses, the golf course right next to them, everything including the California sun. There is room for over 1,000 people here, his private army. Only a few Scientologists know of this spot and its meaning. One of them, Jesse Prince, the former representative of David Miscavige, tells us what the picturesque setting conceals.
That means the location there is the real world headquarters of Scientology.
Yes.
And David Miscavige is living there also?
Yes.
How would you describe his living condition?
Very elaborate, very lavish that I've seen, you know, and you see that some of the buildings that they have are actually quite nice. They look quite nice. Some of the properties are quite nice. Very luxurious, as a matter of fact, is a good word. Reason being is they have zero cost for labor. It's simply material costs because they have their slave camp. They have their slave laborers that work night and day. And then even when the slave laborers can't keep up with it, there's a day, Saturday, where every person at Gilman Hot Springs, no matter what position you're in, goes and does the labor just like the slaves does all day doing renovation. So
And there it is, Jesse Prince telling on himself, you guys. No matter what your post is, you're made to do labor. And these places were so luxurious because of the free labor. They had to be luxurious, you guys. Don't you guys know that you can literally bamboozle the Tampa Bay Times? You can literally bamboozle the FBI. You can literally bamboozle the LAPD. You can literally bamboozle the Clearwater Police Department. All you have to do is, oh my God, look at our luxury hotel. No kids would be trafficked in luxury hotels, right? Like they only get trafficked in cockroaches infested hotels. So yeah, Scientology is always, you guys, so pressed to, really make everything look squeaky clean so that we don't gonna come across like we're doing disgusting things inside of here. As long as the floors are polished and we have slave miners polishing said floors that no one sees. No one sees except for Tom Cruise. No one sees except for all the celebrities frequenting these hotels, you guys. John Travolta running around there watching kids washing floors and going, great job. You're really going to save the planet. On your hands and knees. So that's what we have there, you guys. Let's really go through some of your comments here, because I told you guys we always have to wait until the end because it's too much for me to keep up with the chat and this at the same time. And I am going to be doing some art projects that I will tell you guys all about very, very soon. So I'm excited about that. And that's going to happen soon. But I want to see what's here in the chat. Hello, Joe. Hello, Kay. Joanna. When they call people sheeple, I won't be sick as they think they are better than normal people and we're all there for their convenience. Is this disgusting? Yeah, you guys, unfortunately, this is the epitome of sheeple. And unfortunately, the sheepleness comes with extreme repercussions because what they were normalizing for themselves there is actually pretty inconceivable. And here, Joe, I think you're having a conversation with Joanna. You can't be friends with Marty unless you're also a psychopath. Mike didn't leave Scientology because of what was happening to other people. He left because of what was happening to him. And Joe is right, you guys. I mean, the public record shows, right? That's why criminal attorneys always tell their clients, shut the F up. If you were doing systemic, institutionalized felonies inside hotels, maybe shut the F up and don't grift and just disappear for the rest of your life and hope and pray no cases get opened. But nope, Marty and Rinder and Debbie Cook and Tom DeVocht and Angie Blankenship. Actually, Angie Blankenship didn't make any statements because, her little sweet deal got finessed. By the time Angie Blankenship was ready to depart the hotels, everything was set up for her to just shut the F up and cash checks. So isn't that great, guys, that all of these executives only care about what was done to them and they don't give an F about what was done to others. Whistleblowing good witch. You keep your foot on their necks with me with the heels. That's right. Whistleblowing witch. We are gonna keep our 6-inch stiletto right next to their neck. And if they don't start having ethics change, we're going to perforate that neck with that stiletto and see if that actually starts, getting something going in their brain. Oh, okay, never mind. Let me really atone real quick before I depart this earth to my next lifetime so I don't hit the implant station. Maybe that's what we have to do, you guys. Tell them that they're going to hit an implant station if they leave all dirty AF and not come clean and not change anything that's going on in that culture of those hotels that they were all participants of, that they all donated kids to, because that's what accountability actually looks like. Lisa, I was wondering about all of this when I saw the Aftermath show. This makes sense. Yep. Drive-in fan, thank you for naming names of those who were and are complicit. Well, thank you, Drive-in fan, for listening. We have to call out the names, you guys. We have to demand the accountability from the people that were perpetrating this stuff. It's that simple. It ain't personal. If you held that post, and we would know, since we did get exposed as kids to all of this, and since we were adulticized, you guys, that's why we can speak very clearly to the MF problem, right? Because we were never kids. We had no shred of innocence. We were co-opted to just be like adults. We were put in adult positions to watch what in the hell they were all about. But none of them were counting on us ever growing. None of them were counting on us ever connecting a shred of a dot. And, you know, they almost got away with it, right? Because how many of us have been able to really live to tell after they left us for roadkill after being abused ad nauseum? Not a lot of us. Not a lot of us are here to tell what in the hell was going on, you guys. Case in the house. It takes time to undo the brainwashing and process the trauma that Claire DM Rinder were well aware of. Yeah, that's a good point. You know, 18 years would have been a great time to have done some of that processing of the trauma, you guys. But, you know, you heard it from Claire herself. You heard it from Mike Rinder herself. They don't go to therapy. They don't believe in therapy. They don't want to be in therapy. They're not doing therapy. Well, you know what? Therapists tell you before you start any therapy, guys. I would know, since I've been several times now, several years now, several trying to recover from all this dysfunction. They tell you, like, yes, we're here to discuss your therapy, but not criminal activity that you were involved in. So maybe they did take themselves to a therapist. They heard that and they said, oh, hell no. I don't want to self-reflect on anything I did. I got this. I'm good. And goes back to the point, you guys. If you are a full-blown consenting adult that loves it in the hotel, you're not even going to come out that traumatized. Isn't that great, you guys? I have been in shitty situations as a consenting adult. I don't mind telling you. But guess what, you guys? Have you ever heard me come and complain about a shitty deal I did when I was 36 years old? A scam that I got involved in as a full consenting grown adult that got scammed into something? No. That is what in the hell is called adulting. Yes, we all can F up. Yes, we can all be, you know, stuck in things, but it's, you know, nobody owes you cradling and canoodling when you've made all the bad choices in the world and you were literally ruining so many families, ruining so many childhoods, and they're nowhere to be found with a shred of shame, you guys. And again, this is not my opinion. Go look for yourselves on the public record. Where is their shame? Where is the atonement? Where's the repudiation? Where's the ethics change, y'all? Just to put it back in their little Scientology terms so they don't misunderstand us, you haven't made a shred of ethics change. And if you still believe in L. Ron Hubbard, then L. Ron Hubbard told you you'll make ethics change because you haven't changed a thing. Well, none of you have changed a thing. None of you have come clean. None of you have written anything other than your paperclip convenient overts, and anything else you play it senile. But what did you say? Oh, I wasn't there. I was just over there. No, don't put me in there. So no, you guys. Hot Mess Express. Hey, Serge, I'm fairly new to SPTV. Would you mind explaining the hotel a little more? Short Hot Mess Express. The hotels, I mean, you see it, you guys, even in Copenhagen, the guy just said, oh, the hotel. They have hotels in Copenhagen. They have hotels in Australia. They have hotels in Clearwater. All the people that are going to get the audits and the courses and the ethics handlings inside of these Scientology hotels are encouraged and are sold and are given this little package paradise situationship so they can go and get service inside of these hotels. And they actually have no churches. Isn't that great, you guys? There is not a single shred of a church. They're all just either commercial buildings or hotels. So we would love to hear from you, IRS, why hotels and commercial buildings that aren't churches, founded by a convicted, indicted felon, co-founded by high school dropouts that did go to the best of attorneys that America has, Monique Yingling. So that's how we got to hotels. Hot mess. And it was a hot mess inside of those hotels, especially because they implicated a ton of kids. Whistleblowing good. Which question? How did you get the courage and capacity to leave, Serge? I think it was just a matter of I've had enough, right? And I left at 21, and I believe like by then I was just like, I hate my life. I knew I wasn't going to last, you guys. I knew I came to that breaking point. It's either I'm going to off myself, which was a coping mechanism that I always used. I was always, suicidal ideation literally is in all of us kids. And we've all actually talked about this between ourselves, how much of that was prevalent as a coping, disgusting mechanism that we came up with from being so desperate and so confused and so gaslit. Because again, you guys, I cannot tell you how damaging is to learn a whole bullshit language that these people were really teaching us, speaking Scientology'S. And the Scientology'S is the thing that laundered all the disgusting depravities. Because again, Scientology executives and parents refuse to call what they do the actual word. They quickly exchange it for a Scientology word so that they can live out their little infantilized narrative. And it has never anything to do with the actual facts. As I told you guys a million times, I think anything that was essay of minors was just called this. In what world does the word out, the number 2, and the letter D stand for essaying a minor? Do you see how quickly it could just proliferate like a virus? All of a sudden, all adults are thinking no children are children. All of a sudden, all adults are talking about any essay going on between adults and kids as this washed up BS term that means nothing other than to L. Ron Hubbard and his little army of disgusting degenerates. Self-made. Paying to be. So again, if you want to cradle and canoodle them, explain yourselves why you were paying to be that, why you were paying for the services, why you were signing up all the consents, because we really are getting to the end of our wits, you guys, with this like cradling and canoodling of adults that full knowing did what in the hell they did. You are all adults out there. You know when you're doing something. And then you know what? Yeah, anyone can make a mistake. Anyone can be stuck in a toxic relationship. Ask Ghislaine Maxwell. If hers and Jeffrey Epstein wasn't a toxic relationship, because right about now, I assure you, Ghislaine would be like, yes, Jeffrey was so bad to me, and I was in such a toxic thing that I didn't see anything, but I wish no, she doesn't even say she wishes she wouldn't have done it. She's just like, oh, I'm innocent, and I'm innocent. That's all we ever get. Just like Debbie Cook. I'm so innocent, and I didn't do anything, and I had no shred of a clue. He didn't care what was happening to people in Scientology. He was helping. He left and then started picking up on him because he's a coward. Yep. Serge, one accountability. We need to pressure them. Correct, AJ. Correct. We need to ramp up the pressure, you guys. Ramp up the pressure. Ramp up your question after hearing all of these things. And that's what we're trying to do it with context. That's why I'm showing you guys the literal receipts. What is the RPF? Okay, well, this is the RPF. We've been seeing it. I now showed you a literal video of people that I was stuck in the RPF with as a child in there. So there's a lot there for sure. Amy Lee SP. Anyone else remember when Aaron asked Rinder if he had any regrets? He said no. Remember Aaron saying, really? Face for a half second. Well, you guys, if he has no regrets, I think it is year 2024. We will restimulate every last shred of your withholds that you've been allowed to keep for yourself, Mike Rinder, until you regret AF what in the hell you did. Literally. No regrets. Oh yeah, no regrets. Live and learn and, whatever. I mean, as if your little like pop-up Smurf face is going to enchant us. And whistleblowing good witch. I regret the harm I caused while still in my alcoholism and addiction. It is okay to say we were wrong when we were still sick and actively using. 100%. Whistleblowing good witch. 1000%. If you were under undue influence, which could be alcohol, which could be drugs, which could be L. Ron Hubbard. L. Ron Hubbard rhetoric. They injected, you guys. They injected. Oh, yeah, let me sit here for 10 hours and really study what in the hell this degenerate, convicted, indicted felon wants to tell me. So I couldn't agree with you more, whistleblowing good witch, because they are addicts and they won't admit it. They are addicted to the disgusting stuff that they all propped up, and now their delusion is falling apart, and they couldn't be more pressed and they couldn't be more scared. And I'm sure right about now, Mike Rinder is starting to regret a couple of things, a couple of the lies that he's getting called out for, and all of the disgusting stuff that he's doing. Burn heretic. The Tampa Bay Times, since Tom Tobin has been a distraction for Scientology's crimes. Joe Childs ran away in fear, and he learned what really happened to Kyle Brennan. I mean, Kyle Brennan, you guys, a kid who literally died under the most shady AF circumstances. And yeah, Thomas Tobin is just a regurgitator, image laundering service facility for all child executive abusers that went to him real quick and just say the word David, 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 until he started writing his little story and he started cashing his little checks. So yeah, I actually agree with you. When Joe Childs was doing the coverage, there was more of a no-nonsense attitude, and there were, back in the decades and decades and decades and decades, you guys, a couple of articles about kids at the QI. And you know what, guys? It makes me so mad that once those articles came out, things would get better, at least for a little bit, for the kids. But then, since no one gave a shred of an F, then things have just gotten more and more worse. I mean, I don't even know what in the hell they're doing today, you guys. Imagine how many decades I've been gone, but I can rest assured they're still doing the same shit because no one has called it out. They haven't called it out themselves. The executives that have left are all about David is the boogeyman and we were such abused adults and everyone come cradle and canoodle us. And who gives an F about the kids? They can figure it out their next lifetime. Very difficult question. Understand if you don't want to go there. As a new subscriber working on my way through your videos, did you wait till Aaron left the aftermath before calling out MR and CH? No. I mean, this is my other videos. I've been going after all of the executives, you guys. I don't discriminate. This is a situation where all of them were involved, and I'm very aware of what they were all involved in. Perhaps I hadn't mentioned them in my videos because there was so much stuff that I was mentioning about Debbie Cook, about Marty Rathbun, the two people that had most to do with me personally. Okay. Yes, Claire Headley was also in 1996 at Flag, full knowing that I got RPF because that was a big announcement that was made. And of course, Claire didn't come to my rescue to get me out of the RPF. She wasn't going to go tell Angie Trent to go F herself. At that point, Claire was a RTC trainee. Then she went off to be the RTC rep PAC. And I would know what in the hell type of shit she was getting into because I knew how Ann Rathbun was. And again, you guys, this is a role-playing game. Okay, so if you become the DIG for ethics, if you become the DIG for PAC, if you become the DIG for the Flagland base, you couldn't be more implicated to your ears. But I had focused more on Marty and little Debbie Cook, who were literally there abusing me for decades. And they're the reason that I was the most abused. But, if we're trying to expose the facts are the facts, you guys. There is no favoring this one and favoring that one. They all are in the exact same boat they paid to be. And the problem with Scientology is always about popularity contests. Who's popular? Who's the good one? Who's the bad one? You know what? Miss us with that. Miss us with who's good, who's bad. What choices did you make? And what post title were you holding? And what in the literal hell were your responsibilities and what you did? Because in there is where you're going to find the patterns, you guys. And we only give a fuck about the patterns because the blah, blah, blah is as useless as anything. Seriously. If you sit and listen to all the blah, blah, blah that Mike Rinder, that Marty Rathbun, that Debbie Cook, that Claire Headley have done, they haven't called themselves out on any patterns for themselves. They haven't outed themselves. They haven't outed their little buddies. They haven't said anything other than David, 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 and they can't get the name David out of their literal mouth, you guys. And the problem that presents for them is we don't give a shred of an F what David did. How about what you did to kids? Start with that. Start coming clean on that, since for the last 18 years, you told us David ad nauseum. And we're so sick of hearing his name. And we're so sick of you purporting you're going to come clean by telling us what David did. Whatever in the hell David did doesn't matter. It's whatever in the hell you did from those posts. So it's fine. I appreciate the question, and that's my answer. Hello, Parallel James. Hi. Oh, here. For all of those who don't want to go clear the definition, you guys, thank you, Burn Heretic. Co-conspirators are noun, a person who has been involved with others in a conspiracy. Thank you for that. And then just in case, you guys, just in case anybody wants to play dumb. Let's ask ChatGPT, what is a criminal conspiracy when it comes to trafficking kids? A criminal conspiracy relating to trafficking kids involves an agreement between two or more individuals. Not great, you guys. David Miscavige, Marty Rathbun, Debbie Cook, Mike Rinder. So we already definitely went through that one. More than two individuals to commit illegal acts associated with trafficking minors. This conspiracy might include planning, organizing, or participating in activities such as recruiting, transporting across state lines, across international waters, across all the entire world, harboring or exploiting children for various purposes, often commercial gain or forced labor. Check, 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 check. If a serious criminal offense that extends beyond individual actions, implicating those who collaborate to engage in illicit activities related to child trafficking, legal consequences for participating in such a conspiracy can be severe, reflecting the gravity of the harm caused to vulnerable minors. Well, give it up to ChatGPT for clarifying that crashing misunderstood for all the Scientology executives that are scratching their head and their ass thinking, but David Miscavige abused me, then that means I'm not a co-conspirator. Nobody gives a shred of an F. What type of agreements did you have between you and Dave? What type of recruitment did you do? How many minors did you harbor for illicit activities, including but not limited to somebody like myself that has to make them $100,000 a week? Yeah, you guys, $100,000 a week was what I had to make Debbie Cook. And if any of you are asking, yeah, Serge, but what in the hell do you mean by $100,000 a week? In Scientology, when I was a supervisor, you guys, all the courses that these people are paying to become so they can have, $10,000, $15,000, $4,000 were the courses that people paid Debbie Cook to go do to get trained by a child. And it wasn't just me. Debbie Cook's training department was filled with minors. Filled. The people that are doing the training, the people that are giving the certificates to the adults are children. Imagine the stupidity of that. Literally imagine that. So thank you, Burn Heretic, for that definition. So all of you executives that don't want to clear the definition, that want to pretend that this and that and la, 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 I'm sorry. Go check in with reality. Once y'all check in with reality, then come and have a conversation that's going to be productive with actual things you're going to do to change what in the hell y'all did. No more excuses. No more pity parties for yourselves. You couldn't be more pathetic. We're not going to be pity you. Whoever in the hell cares about pitying people that took it upon themselves to abuse minors and are nowhere to be found on the record to reverse their past mistakes. In fact, apparently, we're going to have to go look for that video where, Mike Rinder says that he has no regrets, because if that's really a thing, you guys, damn. Damn. Okay, let's see what else. Question, is there anything in the USA like Childline that we have in the UK? It's a 24/7 free phone number for minors. They promote it in all the UK schools. I think there are, one of our great subscribers sent us an email recently that there's going to be a change in the Florida way that child crimes are handled. They're going to be handled by another agency that's supposed to be only going to be focusing on those type of things. So maybe something like that could help. I don't know. It's hard to trust anything until actual things start happening. Mary Cruz, thank you so much for your super sticker, Mary. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And let's see. Hi, Willie. Hi, Joe. Hi, Mena. You guys are talking a lot, which is great. And there is this thing here, Surge. Research when Scientology started recruiting kids onto staff in the Sea Org that happened after the 1990s when these critics were operating. No, Burn Heretic. Actually, you research because Shelley Miscavige was already abducted into that ship. And if you haven't watched my video where literally David Miscavige as a minor got sent across state lines from New Jersey to California, trafficked to L. Ron Hubbard by Ron Miscavige. So I think you need to do the research, Burn Heretic, not me. I'm sorry to say that, but not me. You need to be accurate in your criticism. And I am, Burning Heretic. I'm accurate AF, believe you me. Even Janice, even Biddy Miscavige, all of these. Biddy Miscavige, did you watch that? She said she was a minor. She begged to be part of the organization. According to Biddy Miscavige, she was so pressed to be that as a minor. Very different from us, who couldn't stand what in the hell they were doing to us. We didn't like it at all. So... my God, you guys are right. LRH was recruiting children since the beginning. I personally know at least 3 people, friends of mine, who were recruited by LRH personally. Well, there you go. Glad we got that cleared. And I'm glad you challenged me on the facts. Well, that's what we're here about. Burn Heretic, pushback is okay, you guys. Pushback is needed, right? Like all of these things that I'm saying, sure, if you think I'm not saying something, that's fine. I can always stand corrected. But again, so much of this information has been oppressed, has been invalidated, has been washed up, mostly by the adults that have a lot of face to lose once they really do understand what in the hell they normalize for themselves at an industrial size scale. That's why you don't see a lot of transparency or accountability. Never mind that we have invited that transparency and accountability for these people because, how Good Witch said in the back of the chat, like, if you effed up, own up to it. If you were under the influence, own up to your mistakes, but actually make the amends, own up to what it was, call it out, make sure no other kids are getting exposed to what you normalize for yourself. And don't just go around grifting on a grifting spree, seeing how many more dollars you can put in your own pocket to purport that you really want to save the world. And you really just want to save your own damn self. And Joe, let's make sure we hit the like button. Oh my God, guys, I always forget to say that, but yes. Please like, subscribe, and all of that because we're growing our message and all of that helps the algorithm who always demonetizes all the videos we make, you guys, because we always talk about the issues that not even YouTube wants us to talk about, but we don't give a shred of an F because we're not here for money incentives. We're here to get the facts exposed and get some goddamn answers and inform all of you guys on what in the hell is this thing. So as we continue to get all the facts exposed, then we can start getting some kids out of these hotels because that is going to happen. And the more advocates we have willing to advocate for kids that have no advocates on the inside and that have no advocates on the outside, well, they really do need advocates and really, really bad. Why not get your freak on with L. Ron Hubbard? Wrote it in a book. LOL. That's right, Burn heretic. That's what we're calling out. Why not get your freak on if L. Ron Hubbard wrote it in a book? Because that would be very good for all Scientology parents to really ask themselves in front of a mirror today and see if they can have a straight face when they answer that question. Joe Spring, it's like some demonic cosplay. I mean, that's what it is, you guys. Demonic AF cosplay with ridiculous uniforms. It doesn't mean, it's just like, it's just gross. Hi, Gypsy One. Thank you so much for your message. I'm so sorry for what you've been through as well. And I appreciate all your support. You're always so sweet and supportive and commenting on all our posts. And, you know, I really thank all of you guys for engaging because, you know, that's what it's going to take to get this message to amplify, you guys. We need engagement. We need people caring. We need people that want to, you know, help kids that are defenseless, stuck in hotels, betrayed by their parents, betrayed by crooked AF executives that are completely out of their mind and nowhere to be found on the public record repudiating a shred of a thing. That's what's being called out, and that's how we're putting pressure on all of them. Indigo Twin, how is Scientology not being charged for child neglect at least? Thanks for your question, Indigo Twin. They don't get charged for nothing. I mean, again, everyone in Florida plays dumb. Everyone in the LAPD plays dumb. And then everybody purports that this 501c couldn't be more legit, couldn't be more what in the hell America is all about. And you know what, guys? I think if the founding fathers saw what Marty Rathbun, David Miscavige, and Mike Rinder did with the Constitution, did with the abolition of slavery, they would literally be turning in their graves to see that someone as pathetic as Monique Yingling, that wouldn't do a shred of due diligence, has compromised the integrity and the validity of the entire law profession by really going and pitching this fake 501c so that they could have modern childhood slavery right back into this country. Because why not go to a lot of other countries and recruit the slaves? When was that happening, you guys? Oh yeah, a few hundred years back, right? When America was all about that. Bring your slaves, enslave them, dehumanize them, treat them like shit. Who cares? They're just slaves. I'm better. You're worth nothing. So that's what Marty Rathbun, David Miscavige, and Mike Rinder, the three amigos, really did bring back to America. Let's make slavery great again by focusing on all the minors that we're going to enslave. And then let's just, with a straight face, pitch that that was a very religious experience, that all these enslaved minors that didn't consent are all about. And that's what we literally have on the public record, you guys. The children angle will destroy the religion angle of L. Ron Hubbard. Brilliant. Well, yeah, I mean, because that's the whole thing, you guys. Like, it's a scam, it's a sham, it's ridiculous. So the truth and the facts is what destroys the things that L. Ron Hubbard pulled out of his ass, and the things that L. Ron Hubbard's favorite little proteges, the three amigos that really were pressed to want to save the world themselves, are really highlighting for ourselves here, that the law profession couldn't have been more of a joke if it wasn't getting hijacked by, you know, high school dropouts that would just bat their little lashes at Monique Yingling, and then she would just type whatever in the hell they told her to type. Mm-hmm. What does an org have as leverage that allows them to maneuver these systems so efficiently? Are there people in our system that are conspiring to undermine law and order? Yes. Thank you for your question, Aaron Sound. Again, you know, the influence of the blood money being acquired. And let's really just think about that for a second. The multi-millions of dollars that these people have raised purporting that they had a valid 501c. So that's what that is. Yeah, I'm on the line. Okay. So thank you for your super chat, Mary Crew, your super sticker. SB, thank you so much. Thank you, my Louise Travels. Your voice is so important. So much love to you. Thank you so much, my Louise. I appreciate that. Indigo Twin. Any more news on the new foundation Aaron mentioned? Would love to keep tabs and support other foundations if it's still in the works. Thank you, Indigo Twin. Yeah, stay tuned. Stuff is in the works, so it is coming. Amy Lee SB, thank you for your super sticker. So there you have it, guys. We now dove into the next part of this German documentary with video evidence of what these camps are doing. And with the context of us being stuck in that camp with a bunch of minors that Debbie Cook sent to the prison camp to, you know, really facilitate her little power trips that she was all about. So in ending this live, because we're going to go and make some art that I'll keep you guys all posted about soon. A big announcement will be coming on that. So thank you so much for supporting our message and listening and getting informed. And the more you know, the more the receipts are clear, the more we can actually empower ourselves, because that is the journey that we have left as survivors. Like, the power needs to come from within, and we need to demand the changes, and we need to demand the questions that we need answered, and we need to demand accountability, and we need to demand that people stop playing dumb at the expense of kids. And, you know, hopefully our message is cutting through all the BS so we can finally start saving victims that don't have advocacy, victims that don't have a shred of consent. Because it doesn't get more simple than that, you guys. I mean, as much as the media, corporate media, completely tangles and F's up the story so much, because, I mean, look how much they already messed up on the Jeffrey story, you guys. Like, literally, the corporate media couldn't be more wanting to mess everything up if they weren't getting paid to mess everything up. You know, and our stories have been suppressed AF. Starting by the Tampa Bay Times, who decided, let's launder the image of all the executives coming out, and let's really pitch them as poor little innocent people. And you know what? It sucks to be them, because they were not poor, role-playing being slave owners, and they're not innocent, given that slavery was abolished by the American Constitution, Scientology executives. So your 501c sham couldn't be more disgusting if you weren't specializing in the abduction of kids. So start confronting your actual ethics and actually get your ethics in at the FBI Crimes Against Children unit, you guys. Everybody that asks, what can we do? How's this going to stop? Once those executives take themselves to the Crimes Against Children unit, and they write for themselves an OW write-up, which you all can learn is an overts and withholds, write down all their crimes, time, place, form, and event in the form of an affidavit under oath. All manner of roads will be open for them, all manner of deals they can cut for themselves. Mike Rinder, go and cut yourself an MF deal already, as if you don't know that. As if you don't know that that's available to you. So you are choosing not to cut a deal. You are choosing not to be forthcoming. And turns out, you guys, that unlike in the hotel where we could interrogate people until they actually confessed, you know, the FBI is very hands off. They can't tell you, well, you haven't been discovered like doing that. So we just have to like, you know, leave it up to you until you get caught. And you know what? That's just not good enough. It's just not good enough. It's the year 2024, and the scourge of whatever in the hell L. Ron Hubbard pitched to his proteges is going on as we speak. And we invite all his little proteges to come up with defenses. We invite them to go hire the best criminal attorneys, that even the best criminal attorney, you guys, wouldn't be able to come up with a defense that makes sense. Literally. I mean, other than, oh, you were an infantilized goo goo gaga adult. Let's really pray for the judge to be like, he was goo goo gaga. He was goo goo gaga. He just, you know, he did pay, he did consent, he was over 21, he did endorse everything, he did approve everything, he did stay there for 4 decades, but you know, he's goo goo gaga. Let's really come up with an insanity plea for all these people. I mean, in what world do they have any other defense? I was completely out of my MF mind would be about the only defense they have for themselves, given the amount of felonies that were systemic, institutionalized, all full knowing, all recorded, all video recorded. Again, this isn't Larry Nassar doing some weird stuff where no one saw anything. This is Debbie Cook recorded it. Debbie Cook transcribed it. Debbie Cook watched it. Debbie Cook put herself there in the limelight. And Debbie Cook is already on the public record saying she loved it there. And little Marty Rathbun is not coming across too bad, you guys, because I didn't even know this, but I'm going to post this on the community tab. But here, little Marty Rathbun, the Scientology Reformation. What every Scientologist should know by Marty Mark Rathbun. Why Scientology must be reformed. It answers the most frequently asked questions about Scientology today. What is behind the madness and violence widely reported on Scientology Inc. Supreme Leader David Miscavige. Oh, isn't that great, you guys? Marty Rathbun with his pathetic pitch, the Supreme Leader. Because Marty Rathbun was never good enough to be supreme. Marty Rathbun was just David's bitch. So he really wants to talk about how it's been widely reported. Well, I wonder why it's been widely reported, Marty Rathbun, because you got the Tampa Bay Times willing to launder your image so that they can make a quick buck. Why does Tom Cruise continue to support David Miscavige despite international media reports of his increasingly sociopathic conduct? That's what Marty Rathbun wants to tell you about, you guys. Oh, yeah, David Miscavige, sociopathic. But Marty Rathbun was giving ethics handlings to Tom Cruise's kids. Isn't that great, guys? That an unhinged, deranged psychopath of his own merit was literally doing the abuses himself to kids. And that's why we call out Marty Rathbun here. He locked me up against my will. He interrogated me ad nauseum. He did that to other childhood friends of mine that were there at the time that Marty Rathbun remembers very well who they are. So, and Marty Rathbun was asking if they were giving blowjobs to a senior executive. So, think about that, Marty Rathbun. What does Tom Cruise know, and when did he know it? Does Cruz follow his mentor Miscavige's penchant for bullying and violence? You couldn't be more pathetic, Marty Rathbun, seriously. The whole story of Miscavige pimping and pandering to Cruz. Pimping. Oh, Marty Rathbun, I think you just called yourself out. You, your little friend, Mike Rinder, and David were nothing other than child pimping. So go double check on that little pitch, or go take that off of your Amazon Goodreads website, because using the word pimping is what applies to you. Since you and Debbie Cook were charging $500 an hour for adults to go get their freak on inside of that hotel. Can Scientology survive the exposure? What is the future of Scientology? So don't worry about it, guys. About the author, Marty Rathbun has 7 books and 3 followers. So apparently Marty Rathbun is not following on the footsteps of his little daddy figure, L. Ron Hubbard, and his little publishing. I'm going to write 7 books to really jerk myself off while I write about BS, because that's all that Marty Rathbun and Mike Rinder know how to do, you guys. Purport that they're intellectuals. Purport that they know how to speak. Purport that they're not the high school dropouts that got a 10-year apprenticeship paying hefty retainers to top-tier lawyers of the United States, who apparently did teach Marty and Mike Rinder how to speak. But apparently said attorneys didn't teach their clients how to keep their legal ethics in, because they weren't interested in that, guys. They weren't interested in doing things legal. They were interested in doing illegal and still getting away with it. And you know what? For that, they got away with it. So they only can get away with it as long as they don't get called out, you guys. They only can get away with it as long as people are not confronting their evil, goo-goo gaga for all their stupidity, cradling and canoodling every last adult that is inside of those hotels, where we're really going to get nowhere. But the more awareness is spread about just how many kids are implicated, that's when the tide is going to turn. That is when these people are really going to start regretting the things that they haven't regretted until this year 2024. So Marty Rathbun, David Miscavige, and Mike Rinder, this will be the year of a lot of regrets for y'all. And this will be the year of regret for all Scientology executives. Together as a collective, y'all are going to regret what in the hell you have all normalized. Period. Full stop. You have no defense. You have no excuses. You have no justifications. You couldn't be more implicated up to your MF ears, swimming in children's blood. So good luck sanitizing that. Now that the literal cat is out of the bag, good luck really coming up with a pitch to sanitize anything. So I thank you guys all for watching, and I will see you all really, really soon. Bye-bye. Have a great evening, guys. And see you soon. I think I'm going to do a live with Liz talking about a few other things. So stay tuned. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you all soon.